Good afternoon, race fans, wherever you may be today, and welcome. Welcome to the 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series. We are coming to you today from our first stop on the H1E Series in Guntersville, Alabama. My name is Brad Luce, and along with my broadcast partner, we're going to do our very best to keep you apprised of all the action today, both on and off the water, and there should be plenty of action. And speaking of my broadcast partner, he's a young man who needs no introduction to hydroplane racing fans. Introduce him, I will. He has won nearly 100 races in various APBA hydroplane categories, including 9 national championship titles, and has been inducted into the American Powerboat Association's Hall of Champions twice. He is a former Gold Cup champion and an H1 Unlimited National High Points champion. Translation, this guy knows his stuff. Please welcome Andrew Tate to the broadcast tower. Andrew, welcome to the broadcast, my friend.
Thank you, Brad. That was quite the introduction. It's an honor to be in the same booth as you, calling these races here for the H1 series. We're going to do our best, just like you said.
Well, that's it. We're going to do our best. We're going to be seeing some very fast and extremely competitive action. It should be a very busy day. Things should happen very, very rapidly. And so before we get to it, we've got a couple of boxes we want to check. First and foremost, we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's racing. And we'd like to start with Staples. Staples is your one-stop shop for all your home and office needs. And there are 3 stores participating today. They are in the state of Washington, in Linwood, Mill Creek, and Spokane. Staples, one-stop shop for all your home office needs. Also like to thank the fine folks at Jesse's Stitches in Snohomish, Washington. Custom embroidery and more in Snohomish. And also Atomic Screen Printing in the Tri-Cities, a name that has been synonymous with boat racing for many, many years. They are stepping up and help us sponsor this event today. Thank you to Jesse's, Atomic Screen Printing, and Staples. We get ready for heat racing here. We have already had qualifying on the Guntersville 2.5 mile Aqua Oval, as we sometimes refer to it. And it is up on the screen there now. Andrew, I don't know if you've had a chance to see all of these yet, but you want to talk about parity. First of all, we have a full field. We have 12 boats qualified. So in our sections of heat 1, 2, and 3, we'll have 6 boats in the A section, 6 in the B section. But look at those qualifying speeds. Second from the bottom, the U99.9 Bucket List Miss Rock, Kitty Canfouche, tops the ladder at 162.891. And our 12th fastest qualifier, I hate to use the term slowest, but Craig Montgomery came in the U10, the Spirit of Detroit 2, at 159.895. Andrew, I can't believe you've ever seen a field bunch that tightly together.
No, they are very, very close together. And from my personal experience playing the simulator game, the canard wing is crucial. And these guys absolutely have to fly these boats on the limit to get the most out of them. So I think they all have the pedals mashed, especially during qualifying, and are flying the boats with their left foot. So you see that very, very slim margin from top to bottom because of all adjustments in canard wing.
That seems to be a lot of the conversation. There have been some modifications made to the software and the boats and the way the boats handle on the water, and that seems to be the key thing. The canard wing on the front of the boat is absolutely critical. If you're going to go fast, you're going to have to dial in some of that wing, and you're going to have to fly it. If you don't, you're going to sit deeper in the water, have more drag, and you're not going to be a winner. So it should be fun. They're going to have to really put these boats on the ragged edge as we get ready to go racing. That's our qualifying ladder. All 12 boats made an appearance on the water. All 12 of them got qualified. And a little bit about these boats and the drivers. Each one of these boats that is listed there, that real race team chose their driver this event. So it's not like they were just assigned. These drivers were chosen, and very similar to our H1 Unlimited series in the real boats, those are the very best hydroplane drivers in the world. These are the very best E-League racing drivers on the planet. They've been chosen to represent these teams. Again, it's just another arrow pointing towards some terrific racing today. We've had our heat draws for Heat 1A and 1B. We can take a look now at who's going to be squaring off against who in our first two heats of racing.
Hey everybody, Jamie Nielsen here, driver of the J&D's U11. Just want to say hi to all our fans, friends, and volunteers throughout the country. I know on behalf of myself and the entire U11 team, we're really bummed out that we are not going to get to start the season out in Guntersville and travel on to race for the Gold Cup in Madison, and more recently finding out we're not going to get to race at Seafair. So I know on behalf of myself, my family, my entire team, we're really disappointed. And I know a lot of you are as well. And we thank everyone, all the volunteers, for all the hard work they put into it. And I'm sorry that's not going to work out this year, but really looking forward to getting back next year, seeing everyone. And I know I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping that we get to still race at both Tri-Cities and San Diego this year. So time will tell, but if that in fact happens, really looking forward to seeing everyone out there. So in the meantime, my assistant Claire and I have been given the the opportunity to draw the heat draws for Heat 1 of H1's inaugural E-League. So without further ado, here are your heat draws.
Let's get started.
So the first boat, let's see, we got 12 boats here, and they're going into the helmet. And Claire, who's the first boat for Heat 1A?
I hope it's the U11. I grabbed the helmet thing to put around as the buckle.
Who is it?
21.
The 21. All
We got
right.
the 21.
Who's the first boat for 1B?
Woo! Keep grabbing the helmet straight.
Grab one.
There we go. 99.9.
All right.
99.9.
Get that strap out of the way.
Hey, if I don't keep
All right.
grabbing.
Who's the next boat for 1A?
440.
440.
Woo!
Okay. Who's boat 2 for Heat 1B?
I hope it's the U11. Let's see.
Show the camera.
98.
Let's see. The 98. All right. Heat 1A, boat 3.
U11.
11. All right.
Our team.
Okay.
We want that team to
1B, boat 3.
9.
The 9.
We hope it's the U11 to win.
Okay. Who's next in 1A?
6.
6. All right. And boat 4 for Heat 1B.
Woo!
Good luck.
7.
7. All right. Boat 5 for Heat 1A.
91.
A 91. 1B.
10.
The 10.
We want the U11 to win right here.
Okay, well, we got 2 more to draw, okay? The last boat for Heat 1A.
I can reach the eye. 12.
12. And the last boat, Heat 1B. Who's left?
I can't remember who's left. 3.
The 3.
Now I remember.
All right, there you have it. There's the heat draws for both heats 1A and 1B for the inaugural H1 E-League Heat 1. So we wish everyone good luck out there, especially our J&D's driver, Travis Johnson. Go get him, buddy. But more than anything, everyone stay safe out there and stay at home, stay safe, stay healthy, and look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Claire, what do we say?
Let's go racing!
Well, first of all, let's say thank you to Jamie Nielsen and family members there for doing our heat draws for our Heat 1A and 1B. Which pretty much means now we are set to go racing here. It is the 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series. It's our first race of the season. We are in Guntersville, Alabama on the 2.5 mile race course. Heat 1A has been drawn. The boats have been set in the water. They will come out on the race course, or they can come out on the race course at the 6-minute mark. And we coming up to that shortly. We will have the 6-minute mark. We'll call that. We'll be able to see the clock. You should be able to see on the right side of your screen, you should be able to see the draws for our Heat 1A and 1B that Jamie assisted us with. Down that one more time. Mark, 6 minutes until the start of Heat 1A. 6 minutes, Heat 1A. I know just about the time you get to that 5-minute mark in real racing, Andrew, what are you doing? Is it you've been sitting in the boat for a while, you're ready to go racing, but now all of a sudden you've waited all year, it's time to go. What's in your mind? What are you thinking about?
Well, I'm sure these guys are feeling probably something along the same lines as what I would feel. It's just pure anticipation and pure nervousness. There's nothing worse than being strapped into a boat and waiting and waiting and waiting for that 5-minute gun to go off to where you can start the motor, go out onto the race course, and then at that point, things start to become natural, more instinctive, and you can do what you know how to do. There's no more thinking. It's more reacting.
That is what you do as a driver. We're looking there at the U440 Bucket List Racing number 2 entry. Bo Rarick behind the wheel of that boat. Comes all the way across the lake here. And Andrew, I know you've done it and people have read about it that haven't seen it. The pit area in Guntersville is all the way across the race course from the from where the fans are. They have to come clear across the course and clear across the lake before they can actually get on the buoy line and start being on the course. Then there is a long causeway down in turn 1 that drivers will drive along when they get off of the race course and head back to the pit area. That is just off of turn 1. You see it there in the background. That's the causeway as the U12 Grand Trucking comes down the front straightaway. Quentin Miller behind the wheel of that boat is the Goodman Real Estate hydroplane, the U91. Tim Johnson behind the wheel. Street Bank, U6, Kelsey Best. Interesting point about this boat going on today. We have been advised that Jimmy Shane is spotting for Kelsey today. He's watching on another channel. He will be directing Kelsey around the race course. And Andrew, one of the things we need to talk about to our fans here is the start procedure for our E-League is a little bit different than that of our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. There is no 80-mile-an-hour rule. So the boats can drop down below 80 miles an hour, and that's what you see going on here on the front straightaway. Boats are going very, very slow, and they are positioning themselves for an inside lane. The key here to this start sequence is they cannot pass the exit buoy out of turn 1 before the 1-minute mark. So that'll be very important. And you look at Kelsey, he is just completely dead in the water. Tough to see here. That looks like that is Quentin Miller. It is in the U12. Now, coming up behind him, I believe that is Tim Johnson in Goodman Real Estate. He will come down behind. We'll see where he wants to slot himself in. We're still 3 minutes and 30 seconds away from our start, so they've definitely got some time to kill. Going back up the straightaway there, Bo Rarick driving the 440. will come around the course here and come down the front straightaway alongside the 21. Daryl Strong presents Payne West. That's Mickey Washburn behind the wheel of that particular hydroplane. And they will go down toward the lower corner and see our trollers down there. And they will make the decision what they want to do. Clearly, Mickey in the 21 is not going to get involved in that. Looks like he's going to keep the power up on the outside. Still got plenty of time for the start at 2:15 until the start. Now, there's our two trollers. They can go past that buoy. That is the entrance pin, the lower corner. They've still got plenty of time to kill. It's the exit pin they can't go past for 1 minute. You've been involved in some of this type of racing and start procedure, Andrew Tate. What's that like when you're going, you're in a boat that is built to go as fast as it can, and now you're going as slow as humanly possible?
Yeah, it's kind of opposite thinking there, isn't it? What this starting procedure is going to do is open up the opportunity for someone to come with speed at that 1 minute buoy at the exit pin there with a run on the outside, and it's the infamous leapfrog move. At that point, once you have your boat lengths coming with speed on the outside, you're going to be able to come over and take the inside guys' lanes who are going for that park and start, quote unquote. It's infamously been dubbed. The 80-mile-an-hour rule has kind of eliminated the leapfrog some extent. At 80 miles an hour, you're still able to get the boat up and kind of going to protect your lane from guys coming on the outside. But here we come up for the start, Brad.
They are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. I would say it's a good score up. We've got it in our ears from the officials that it was indeed a good score up. So up the backstretch now. The boats now. That was the first sequence of the start procedure. Everything appeared to be good and clean. Looks like the home street is going to be in lane number 2. Goodman is going to sit out in lane number 3. I believe that is the U12. Graham Trucking, Quentin Miller going to sit in lane 1. Then we've got the orange Bucket List Racing 2 with Bo Rarig out in lane number 4. The 11 J&D's with Travis Johnson is in lane 5. And on the outside, it's going to be the 21. Daryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance and Mickey Washburn. We'll get a look at the clock, and the idea now, just like it is in real, H1 Unlimited Racing, put your boat on the start-finish line with a clean lane and a lot of boat speed just as the clock strikes 0. Down to that start now. It's a pretty good run off the top end of that race course down to the start-finish line. You see them flying the boats, and we are racing here in Heat 1A of the 2020 H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing Series. And look at this 6-boat run down to the lower corner. First boat to get down there is the U91 Goodman Racing with Tim Johnson. But you see, and the 6 Kelsey Best, he got wet in lane 2. Looked like there was a lane there for him, but coming off the corner on the inside, Quentin Miller in the Graham Trucking, trying to run down an extremely fast Goodman Real Estate and Tim Johnson. And you've basically got 5 boats all within shouting distance of one another. And Kelsey Best is going to make a run in lane number 2. He's going to make a run on Quentin Miller. He has actually taken it over. They are going to watch them through the upper corner. They will come down to complete lap number 1 of 3. We'll go 3 times around. And Andrew Tate, you were talking about what you do before the race starts. You're anxious to get out and run, and now these guys are out there running, and they are side by side. That's when your adrenaline's got to really get pumping.
Yeah, being next to someone going 200 miles an hour is an absolutely unbelievable feeling. At a race course like Guntersville, that's exactly what you're going to get. A symmetrical race course where the...
Kelsey went over. You saw the boat flip over the top of the 12, so he is out of it. And now it is just a 2-boat run right now for the lead. Quentin Miller on the inside, but so far, Tim Johnson showing a lot of speed in that 91. I'm sure his spotters are telling him that Kelsey Best in the home street's no longer there. He's still got his left side rear view mirror full of U12, Graham Trucking and Quentin Miller. Can Quentin make up some ground here on the inside? Certainly, Tim Johnson's given him a lot of lane space in there. They're going to come down and put 2 in the books and start lap number 3. Good looking run for the 91 Goodman Real Estate, Tim Johnson, but he's not done yet. He's got 1 more lap to go. and he is going to have to hold off Quentin Miller. The two boats have kind of run away from the pack right now. We lost the home street when just about there on lap number 2, the boat went airborne over the top of the 12. And now Quentin Miller's making a move on the inside. Oh, he got wet. He got caught up a little bit in the rooster tail of Tim Johnson, kept the boat on the water and kept it going, but he really wants to fight for these 400 first place points. The backstretch now about a 4, make it a 5 boat length lead right now for the 91, Tim Johnson. Now you're on board with Tim. Watch, he'll leave room between his boat and the buoys because he knows that Quentin Miller is in there somewhere. Now he'll come off the corner. Oh, and Quentin Miller's closed up ground. Here comes the run down to the checkered flag. This is going to be close. On the inside, it is the 12, Quentin Miller, trying to run down the Goodman Real Estate and Tim Johnson, but he's not going to get there. Is not going to get there. The heat victory is going to go to the 91 Goodman Real Estate and Tim Johnson, and what a run. O'Rerig is going to come home in 3rd place finish in the 440. Travis Johnson, driving the J&Ds, is coming home in 4th place, and then 5th place will go to the U21. Daryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Mickey Washburn. Wow, Andrew Tate right out of the box. What do you think? We said we were going to have some good side-by-side racing. That did not disappoint at all.
Welcome to H1, the U91 Goodman Real Estate, driven by Tim Johnson. I think if we really went to Guntersville and the same results were true there, we would have a very, very happy new sponsor here in
Absolutely. John Goodman and Goodman Real Estate. Both, there's been a lot of talk about it during the off season, and what a way to start the inaugural H1 Unlimited Hydroplane E-League Racing Series. It's one thing they can never take away. Tim Johnson, nobody can take away the fact that the first time we ever ran in the H1 Unlimited E-League, he came home with the victory. And there's that causeway on the right side of the screen there. Boats will travel along that and find their way back into the pit area. Oh, just like it is in real boat racing, this whole idea of racing is points, points, points. You gather points during the preliminary heats. It's blind draws, as we saw earlier, about who you're going to run against in those heats. And then you get points awarded for your finish position in your heats. First is 400, first is 400, second place is 300, and on down from there. After every boat has run 3 times, and we've run all the way through our Heat 3B and the Provisional, we are going to count up who has the most points. We then throw the points out the window, put our top 6 boats in points for the weekend, put them out on the water. It is a winner-take-all 5-lap final. That's coming up later on in the day. We've got a lot more racing to do. But that was a good one. Absolutely. We are ready to go in our Heat 1B. Just like that, we'll turn them around. Busiest people in Guntersville, Alabama right now are the crane operators. And while we were running Heat 1A, the boats for Heat 1B were being placed in the water. Let's run down that list of boats. We're going to see Cy Bowen behind the wheel of the Griggs Presents Ace Hardware. That's the U3, the only piston-powered boat in the fleet. Spirit of Detroit, the U7, predominantly red boat with a couple of blue stripes on either side of the cockpit, will be driven by DJ Miller. The U9, Delta Rail Track, Scott Przbilski will be behind the wheel of that one. The U10, Spirit of Detroit 2, supposed to be driven this weekend by Peyton Hopp, but Peyton had other commitments, so Craig Montgomery is stepping behind the wheel of the Spirit of Detroit 2, a predominantly black boat. He's going to be joined out there by our 2 seconds, 1 mark. And we are at the 6-minute mark for our Heat 1B. Rounding out our field, the patriotic red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream, driven by Matt Johnson. That's the U98. Our top qualifier, the bucket list Miss Rock, the U99-9, Eddie Canfouche. It's the orange boat up on the top left corner of your screen. The camera just moved. He went to the top right corner. Bright orange bucket list Miss Rock. Eddie Canfouche qualified north of 162 miles an hour, 162.8 if memory serves me correctly. Either way, the boat's mighty fast. And guess on paper, if you believe the qualifying speeds, Andrew Tate, he's your favorite. But as we talked earlier, this field is really tightly bunched.
Yeah, and everything seems to change once you get into competition and have boats next to you. A lot of people can make boats go fast when they're out there all by themselves, but having someone next to you definitely changes the dynamic of everything.
You suddenly can't go everywhere you want to go. There's somebody holding you into a particular lane, and everything's different. And you guys always talk when you're running your real boats that you put one setup in the boat to go out and qualify fast. It's a whole different setup usually when you go out and go racing.
Yeah, one of the beautiful parts about this sim is the water conditions and running behind someone and the wakes that they create. It's very similar to real life, and if you're in that dirty water and running over people's wakes, it's going to slow you down and change the attitude of your boat. So just like we face challenge in H1 or any other class of boat racing, start becomes very, very crucial in hitting that starting line to have that clean water and be able to dictate the race course.
So here we are, 4 minutes and 40 seconds until the start to our Heat 1B. Again, the U3, Griggs Ace Hardware, the 7, Spirit of Detroit, Delta Real Track, U9, the U10, Spirit of Detroit, Graham Trucking American Dream, and the bright orange Bucket List Miss Rock. Miss Rock going hard on the outside down there toward the lower corner. Looks like that will be Cy Bowen going slow in the piston boat. As you see Eddie Canfoosh jump across the race course, just like on Real Unlimited Racing. You can do that. That is a legal maneuver. He cut from the front stretch to the back stretch. It's all about timing on that start. Oh, top end. Matt Johnson and Craig Montgomery at the top end of the race course. They will come down and visit the boats down to the other end of the race course. We got a couple trollers down there. Got 2 trollers up there approaching the entrance pin to the corner at 3 minutes until the start. 3 minutes until the start of our Heat 1B. Is Matt Johnson in the red, white, and blue. He's on the far outside, sitting in lane 1. That is going to be the U7, DJ Miller, and sitting right alongside of him is Cy Bowen, and the Griggs presents Ace Hardware, the U3. There they are, the piston boat and a turbine boat, 2 bright red ones down there. Easy to tell the 2 apart. You don't have the cowling on the U3. Griggs presents Ace Hardware, and here we go again. A couple of guys just looking out the window at each other. And Andrew, I've always wanted to ask this. If you're going that slow, do you look over at the other guy? You ever make eye contact with him?
Usually, even when I'm going 2-3 miles an hour, the 350 start or something of a smaller class, similar to what these guys are doing here, it's still a white knuckle moment because you're counting down on the clock and watching what he's doing. Is he going to go? When do I need to go? Who's going to leapfrog me? Where is everyone else at? So it really isn't a moment to relax.
Got a hunch you got a soft spot for that boat right there in the bottom of the screen, now sitting in lane number 3, that U9 Delta Real Track. Scott Przybylski behind the wheel. If anybody knows this sport, he does.
Yeah, Scott is actually the developer of this program and has done a great job over the years fine-tuning and adding different physical characteristics to try and make sim as real as possible. And I think he's done a great job up until this point.
Really has, and as we were talking about, he's made it very, very delicate, if that's the proper word, on that front canard wing. Now, did you check that move by Eddie Canfoosh? He came down on the outside of the 3 trollers, got out in front of him, and then the boat swerved hard to the left, and voila, just like that, Canfoosh has got himself in lane number 1. We're 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. It was a clean score up. And the boats are going to come off the corner and come down the backstretch. Now, Canfoosh dropped way back, and it looks as though DJ Miller was able to move over to the inside lane and get it back from Eddie. Now coming up on his right side is Cy Bowen driving the piston-powered boat. And then lane 3 will go to Scott Przybylski in the Delta Real Track. Lane 4, which is now becoming lane 3, as you saw the 98, Matt Johnson, he moved into lane 3, and so now Przybylski in the 9, the Delta Rail track, has to go out to lane number 4. Somewhere behind this field is our top qualifier, Eddie Canfouche. He had made a run to get the inside lane. He didn't get it. There is the 10, Spirit of Detroit 2, and Craig Montgomery still looking for our top qualifier. There he is on the outside. Canfouche will come down to the line. And we've got a good 6-boat start headed down into the first turn. And it's Canfouche with a lot of boat speed, but he's on the far, far outside. Start was good. It was very, very close. Look at the speed that Canfouche has got. But now you're going to find how he's going to give ground to those boats on the inside just because of the position on the race course. What a corner. Oh, and the 10 definitely got wet down there. Craig Montgomery did. He hooked a little bit in front of the 9. Scott Przybylski had to do some evasive maneuvers. But look at this 3-boat run down the backstretch. DJ Miller is on the inside, but so far it's Cy Bowen in the piston boat, and on the outside it's Canfouche. Does it get much better than that, Andrew Tate? These guys are really honking on it. Up into the race course. They're going to come over and look at the cornering there. Just a beautiful arc through the turn by DJ Miller, and they are going to come out literally deck to deck. If they swapped any paint, we wouldn't be able to tell because both boats are bright red. They'll come down and put 1 in the book. Cy Bowen still able to hold off the 7 and DJ Miller, but boy, not by much. This is outstanding racing. We are on lap number 2 of 3, and they are literally dead even. It's maybe a boat length or 2 for Cy Bowen on the outside and the Griggs Ace Hardware. Piston power knocking off the turbine right now, but I can tell you DJ Miller is not done yet. Look at him hang right in that left side rear view mirror, trying to stay as wide as he can, so when he gets into the corner, he's got maybe a little bit more room to play with as far as lane position and lane spacing. Now we'll see if Cy Bowen doesn't tighten it up a little bit as he hangs that big skid fin in the water, and a big wall of water comes off the trailing edge of that left side sponson. Up into the race course just like they were last time. This is as good as it gets. In the H1 Unlimited E-League, a couple of guys really going at it. They'll come down and put 2 in the book, and now you are on board with DJ Miller. You see what he does. What he sees is an awful lot of fast piston power just out the window. Out of the lower corner on the 3rd of 3 times around the course. Here's what Andrew Tate was talking about. It's exactly what you were talking about there. Cy Bowen trying to hold him in tight, Andrew. The backstretch again. We've lost Andrew Tate. He will come back in as soon as we can get him. But meanwhile, we are running for our final lap here of Heat 1B. Good racing all over the race course, even out front for position 1 and 2. Top end, and then just like in Heat 1A, this is going to be a charge to the checkered flag. Cy Bowen got the lead by maybe a boat length and a half over DJ Miller. But they're going to come off the exit pin, 1 boat length between the 2. Now it's just pure acceleration. Remember that canard wing? Who wants to fly at the highest and bring it down? It is going to be Cy Bowen, and the Griggs presents Ace Hardware coming home with a victory in our Heat 1B. Second place will go to DJ Miller. Third place is going to go to Eddie Canfouche in the 99.9 bucket list. Miss Rock. Wow, another terrific run here in Heat 1B. Great racing here, and again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's event and today's racing. Staples, one-stop shop for all your home office needs. Forget Staples. So many people working from home, you're still going to need those same types of office supplies. Visit the fine folks at Staples. Visit them in Linwood, Mill Creek, or Spokane. There's the causeway in the background there. Final order of finish is Cy Bowen in the U3. Griggs Ace Hardware with the first place finish. DJ Miller was second in the Spirit of Detroit, the U7. Eddie Canfouche, quite sure what happened to him. He had lane 1, but when the 1 minute sounded or the mark was reached, boats accelerated out of the lower corner. Eddie did not. He stayed down there. I don't know if he had a problem, but did not come up with the rest of them. He forfeited his lane and had to move to the far outside. Scott Przybylski home in 4th place, and Craig Montgomery got a finish in 5th place. There's our finish orders for our Heat 1A and 1B, and we'll get the scorecard up there in a few minutes. and we'll fill those numbers in. Again, it's all about points. The idea is to score as many points as you can in the preliminaries and get yourself into the final. It's a winner-take-all final, and you can't win it unless you can get in it. It's an old saying in boat racing, but it's so very true also in our E-League. Andrew, do we have you back on board here? We're trying to hook up with Andrew. Okay. So there are our finish order there for our Heat 1B. We'll put those on that score sheet and get the score sheet up there for all to take a look at. But everybody has been in the water once now and run once. And once that happens, we have to take the pieces of paper with every boat number on it, throw them into the hat or helmet, whatever the case may be. And we have another surprise individual to do the draw for our heats 2A and 2B. If they're anywhere as exciting as 1A and 1B, we're in for some more terrific racing. It is 2020 H1 Unlimited League Racing Series, and we are live in Guntersville, Alabama.
Hi, I'm J. Michael Kelly, driver of the U12 Graham Trucking Hydroplane, and I'm here with my boys Carson, driver of the 42R Graham Trucking Junior Hydro, and boss man Asher. And we will be drawing boats for 2A and 2B of the H1 Unlimited E-Racing League. Right here we got golf balls in Carson's helmet, and I'm going to let each boy take a turn and draw golf balls. So Asher, you go first. Let's see. First one, 6. Okay, this will be for 2B.
12 or 21.
21, 2B. Okay, 2A, 3.
I think you need to remove this. 440.
Okay, 2B, 440. 2A, 91.
Maybe
2B.
it's gonna be a different color, that one. B.
12.
So, I'm getting more.
2A,
No, it's getting
99.9.
broken. It's getting broken.
2B,
It's ripping. That one, gold balls,
10.
getting broken. That's 3.
2A,
It's got broken. It got broken.
2A,
It's got broken.
7. 2B, 11.
I get a pick.
Okay, don't look. 98. 2B, 9,
I won!
and that's it.
I won. Yeah.
So,
I won.
oh, yep, I got a list from my helper back there. For
I won.
the virtual
I just
racing
won. I
Hydro
won.
Sim game,
I
your
won.
heat draws are right here. So hopefully that's legible. So we're super stoked to see
I won.
the races this weekend, and we can't wait. Good luck, everybody, and stay safe, and hope to see everybody soon.
All right, so thank you to J. Michael Kelly and family for drawing out our boats for Heat 2A and 2B. They are on the screen right there. Let's quickly run them down. In Heat 2A, be the Griggs presents Ace Hardware. Cy Bowen, who just had that terrific run in Heat 1B, got a first place finish. He'll be looking for another one. Kelsey Best is going to be out there driving the powder blue and white U6 Miss Home Street. You will remember Kelsey blew it over in the first corner on lap number 2 in his first heat, didn't get any points. So Kelsey's going to be looking for some points here in this one. He needs them in a big way. He'll be looking for the win. J. Miller driving the 7, Spirit of Detroit, the bright red boat with the 2 blue stripes. A great run in our Heat 1B. He picked up 300 points, so he is in good shape right now. He'll be looking for another solid finish here in 2A. Tim Johnson drove the Goodman Real Estate in our Heat 1A, and the boat just ran beautifully. Very, very strong. He picked up a first place finish, 400 points, and we welcome them to H1 Unlimited officially. So when the Heat's going to be the 98, the Graham Trucking American Dream with Matt Johnson. They picked up a finish in our earlier heats, and they're going to be joined by the 99.9 Bucket List Miss Rock. Look for Eddie Canfouche, our top qualifier, to do better than he did in that last heat. He got not enough points for what he would like to have. He's got a third place finish. He wanted to finish higher than that. Mentioned the Graham Trucking American Dream and Matt Johnson. They got a DNF in 1B. The boat ran very, very well. They were unable to finish. So that's our field in Heat 2A. And Heat 2B, we're going to have the Delta Real Track, Scott Przybylski behind the wheel of the U9. Spirit of Detroit 2, Craig Montgomery will pilot in place of Peyton Hopp. He'll drive the U10. That's the black and gold boat. A&D's, Travis Johnson behind the wheel of the, and I have to say this at least once, the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange U11. U12, Graham Trucking with Quentin Miller, the all-red boat. U21, Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance and Mickey Washburn. And rounding out our Heat 2 field, the Tennessee Orange U440 Bucket List Racing 2. So we are ready to go racing here. We're getting word that the countdown is about to start. We're 5 seconds away from our 6-minute mark. It's Heat 2A. It is the 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League, and we are in Guntersville, Alabama. 2, 1, mark. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the start of our Heat 2A. Second opportunity for the boats to earn points. Look at them come away from pit area there. First boat away on the left. That's going to be Eddie Canfouche. You'll also see the third boat over in the middle of the screen there, the powder blue and white of the Miss Home Street, Kelsey Best. He, more than anybody in this heat, really needs points. He and Matt Johnson in the Graham Trucking American Dream both came away with goose eggs in that first heat. As we talked earlier, it's all about points. So they've got to get some points if they want to make it into that winner-take-all final. Just saw Cy Bowen there in the U3 Griggs Ace Hardware. There's Eddie. See what Eddie Canfouche wants to do for his start procedure. Boats went down and trolled into turn 1 the last time out when Eddie was driving, and he chose not to get involved in it until the very last moment, and then he leapfrogged everybody, jumped to the inside lane. It was a gorgeous move. When the boats went to exit the lower corner during the 1-minute period, gas pedal did not respond, and he got left behind. Do a quick check here, see if we've got Andrew Tate. Has Andrew joined us yet? Just giving a shout out to Andrew. He'll jump in when he can. And
I've made it back.
He is
Experienced some
back.
technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Was it something I said?
You hurt my feelings. I actually wanted to go talk to Jimmy Shane about his spotter duty there. Kelsey Best got a little wet a couple times. I'd like to get him on and see what he had to say, what he saw from the beach on that heat.
Would be interesting to say the least. But they'll be looking for a lot more points, or any points at all in this one. They are going to need them. There you see the red, white, and blue, the 98, driven by Matt Johnson. And the Goodman Real Estate is driven by Tim Johnson in this heat. Tim and Matt are brothers. So little brotherly love here. And here comes our trollers. They're going to come very slowly. Looks like we're going to have 4 of them. And I think that's Kelsey Best. The inside there is coming down the first boat. The third one looks like that might be Matt Johnson in the 98. To see from here. There we go. Yes, it is. It is Matt Johnson in the Graham Trucking. He is in lane 2. Kelsey Best is on the inside. Remember, the key here is they cannot go past the exit buoy of the corner number 1. On the corner they will be entering. Can't go past that exit buoy before the 1-minute mark. Now there's Canfouche on the outside. Eddie, our top qualifier in the bucket list Miss Rock. And it looks like he said, all right, I'm not going to play this game with you guys. He's going to go ahead and power on through the corner and come around one more time. So there's Eddie Canfouche, one of our guys that had a third place finish, which is a good solid finish, and he got 225 points for it to go with his 100 qualification points. I think he was hoping for a better fare than that. There is the Spirit of Detroit, DJ Miller. He is sitting in lane number 3. And Tim Johnson in the 91 Goodman Real Estate. This could be a very, very good heat. All of these boats are very, very fast. Now here comes the Goodman Real Estate. Tim Johnson on the outside giving a little bit more power to the others. Chelsea Best can look off to his right. Andrew, that's what you were talking about. These guys look out the window and see each other. And they may be going slow, but these are some anxious moments.
There's a gaggle of boats collecting there at the exit pit. Hopefully they can get it sorted out and make a clean run to the start finish.
Where is Matt Johnson going to put the 98? He was in lane 2, but then all of a sudden things kind of got pushed around a little bit. Now he's looking at the rear end of the 91 and the 6 right in front of him. It looks as though Matt might be starting to angle a little bit to the outside. Interesting start procedure here. There is Cy Bowen. Griggs presents Ace Hardware. We'll see if the piston boat wants to get down and get involved in this. You see what he sees down the front straightaway here. Here in Guntersville, Alabama. It is a 2.5-mile race course, and you heard Andrew talking about it a little earlier. It is an awfully fast 2.5-mile race course. And yep, that's exactly what happened with Matt Johnson in the 98. He moved himself to the outside, so that pushes DJ Miller in the Spirit of Detroit. The red boat is trailing him. He's now behind everybody. 20 seconds, inside 20 seconds, 15 now to the 1-minute gun. You see the boat starting to power up, but he wants to get leapfrog here. Where's Canfouche? He's coming down hard behind everybody. He's going to try and leapfrog again. We're 5, 4 inches. Custom embroidery and more in Snohomish. Some good embroidery you want done, want some help with your artwork, reach out to Jesse's Stitches. They are in Snohomish and ready to help you. Atomic Screen Printing. They're in the Tri-Cities, a name that's been around boat racing for a long, long time. You know who they are. They do a lot of those great racing t-shirts and logos design. They have a full staff of artists in-house, and they can draw up or conjure up whatever you would like, whether it's a logo, whether it's t-shirts for a party, they can help you. Atomic Screen Printing in the Tri-Cities, Washington. And Staples. One-stop shop for all your home office needs. And yourself working from home these days, don't have access to the office booth that has all the paper and pencils, go down to Staples. They can help you out. They've got everything you need. Staples, one-stop shop for all your home office needs. We're back up and looking at the race course here. We are going to send the boats back out on the race course. We will restart our 6-minute clock. It's the 6-minute clock for our Heat 2A. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the start. Our Heat 2A, Cy Bowen, Kelsey Best, DJ Miller, Tim Johnson, Matt Johnson, Fast Eddie Canfouche are our 6 boats that will be in the heat. 3, the 6, the 7, the 91, 98, and 99.9. And we've had a little bit of a glitch here with the running of our Heat 2A, but to be get discouraged here, we'll get it squared away. We've got some of the best minds, and when it comes to programming and so forth, we've got some of the brightest minds around working on it. They'll keep it straight. We'll keep our racing going. Our boats are on the water, and you see 4 of them running hard down the front straightaway right now. And we will pick those boats up. The first boat through the corner there, I believe, is the 98, if the camera catches up to it. But these boats are pretty darn quick, and that's not the easiest thing to do. There is the 3, Cy Bowen. Ace Hardware, the piston-powered boat, always a favorite. Now, you see that boat coming in from the right, the top of the screen there, up in the upper left corner. That is a boat coming all the way across the lake from the pit area. That pit area is way on the other side, so it looks like you have a boat joining the field coming from nowhere, but that's the long drive across the lake. There's Cy Bowen again. He'll come off the top end of the race course, come down the front straightaway, chasing Matt Johnson in the 98. And we'll look at our clock here. We're inside 4:20 until the start. We'll see if anybody wants to start slowing down and start the trolling process here. That seems to be the preferred method of starting. There's other ways to do it, Andrew Tate, as you were saying. They can leapfrog, and it's a very effective maneuver.
I'm looking forward to seeing some leapfrogs here. I think everyone's kind of played it conservative and tried to position themselves in a trolling manner to gain the position that they want. We haven't seen too many low-speed maneuvers, but what I'm really looking for is that guy coming outside with all the boat speed, gaining the overlaps, and then coming over and making life difficult for those guys who were off playing trolling.
Well, and when I'm calling real boat racing or racing of other types, I always make the comment that if you've got a really sweet move you want to pull, don't pull it in the preliminaries. Wait for the final. I'm assuming there's some truth to that.
Very, very true. You always, throughout the weekend, are kind of watching competitors and what they might be doing, and then building your game plan for what's going to be the final chess match there, winner take all final come Sunday afternoon.
Taking a look there at the 2-6 home street. We'll see Best behind the wheel. Blew it over in the first heat of the day down at the lower end of the race course. He'll be looking for a much better finish here today. There's the view that he has. Kelsey Best looking out of the front window of the Miss Home Street. Is now on the front straightaway. We'll head down toward the causeway. He is just inside DJ Miller in the Spirit of Detroit. Coming up on the three trollers down there, we'll see if Kelsey wants to start playing a game. Is he going to make a hard move to the left and jump into lane one? He did. You see the S curve there. He's now jumped into lane number one. Now, great camera work there, guys, to show us what's going on behind him. Because what is behind him is the 91, Tim Johnson. And Tim is now sitting in lane two, and it is forcing another interesting move from Matt Johnson, who thought he was sitting in lane one, now is going to have to move himself out, and you see him doing that. So a lot of jockeying going on right here, but it's happening at about 2 miles an hour, Andrew Tate. Not what we think of when we think of the fastest race boats in the world.
Yeah, we've got probably 35 seconds here coming up to that 1 minute buoy, the exit pin, and we've got boats kind of spread out. It's almost like a little bit of a train here.
Still got 30 seconds to kill here, so this one's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens as we begin to approach that 1 minute. We're 20 seconds away. So sitting in lane one right now is the Goodman Real Estate with Tim Johnson. Going to pull up alongside him now is going to be Brother Matt driving the 98. And they are side by side with each other. We'll get the countdown here. Coming up to our 1 minute mark. Remember, you can't pass that buoy. And it's 2 seconds, 1 second mark. Is a clean score up officially. Lane one's going to go to the 91. Lane two is going to be Matt Johnson. That is at least for now. You see him running hard up there because although they have crossed the 1 minute buoy or the score up buoy legally, they can still leapfrog. You don't make your lane final, your choice of lane. It is the lane you are in when you cross that buoy right there, the entrance buoy to the upper corner. Whatever lane you're in at that time, that's the one you have to hold to the start-finish line. Andrew, I thought maybe we were going to see a leapfrog. There was a lot of speed on the backstretch, and the other drivers all said, no, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, everyone was going similar speeds at that 1 minute buoy, so the guys on the outside didn't really have that advantage to try and come over. Here we come up for the start.
We come up to the start. Canfouche looks like this time he may have himself a good one. We'll get the countdown. We are 3, 2, 1, mark. And we are racing here in our Heat 2A, and it is a clean start. Look at Eddie Canfouche. He is in about lane 3. He's going to get down to the lower corner first, but he's got Matt Johnson just to his left on the inside, and they are in lanes 1 and 2. Kelsey Best looking for a strong finish. He is the third boat in the corner there, running out about lane number 4. There's probably somebody tucked inside Kelsey Best. Now up the backstretch, Eddie Canfouche in the bright orange bucket list Miss Rock, the 99.9. He's got about a half a rooster tail on Matt Johnson in the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream. Now to the top end of the race course on the first of 3 times around. Canfouche with that big wall of water. Look at him leave a lane in there for Matt Johnson. It's not a big lane, but it's a lane, and it's enough. And the officials will say that's clean. And that's what we're talking about, Andrew Tate. You can't go wherever you want because somebody's going to hold you into a specific lane if they've got the lead on you on the outside.
Eddie is leaving just enough room in there for the 98.
We've got boats way up in the air, and that is our Matt Johnson. That sometimes will happen in the software. That's not the boat getting that far out of the water. Sorry to cut you off there, Andrew Tate. Go for it. Talk about Eddie.
Eddie stuck to his guns there at the start and had stuck to his timing marks and had full head of steam coming to the start-finish line, leading the field into the first turn and really, really holding the inside boats true to their arc. At that point, you have to back off a little bit to make sure you don't hit that big wall of water that you see now, because that will lift you up and blow you over.
We're coming down here to put lap number 2 of 3 in the books, and the positions remain exactly the same. Look at that canard wing on the front of Matt Johnson's U98. He's working and he's trying to get as much air underneath that boat as he can to fly it as high as he dare go without blowing it over, trying to run down fast Eddie Canfouche, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get him. And look at Ed hang him right tight to the buoy row. But I'll tell you what, Matt Johnson's doing a terrific job of holding that lane. Look at this. He's going to pull up within about 2 boat lengths of Eddie Canfouche. Again, we have terrific racing down the backstretch, but still Canfouche in lane 2, able to hold off Matt. But he's having a beautiful run in that 98, the Graham Trucking American Dream. Top end of the race course now. This is the 3rd and final lap. Checkered flag awaits our winner. Again, a lane is being left, but no more, and boy, it's tight in there. Matt doing a great job of holding the line that Eddie's making him run, and he's making a run at Canfouche here. He's up to within a boat length. This is really going to be close. I think Canfouche is going to get him, but not by very much. They cross the start-finish line. Eddie Canfouche in bucket list Miss Rock comes home in first place. There's a 3rd place finish right there for Kelsey Best, having the 6th of Miss Home Street. Wanted points. They got 225 for that 3rd place finish. 4th place will go to DJ Miller, Spirit of Detroit, the U7. He will come home in 4th place. And we'll have a couple of DNFs. Unfortunately, we get a did not finish. The U91 Goodman Real Estate after that great run in their first heat. And Cy Bowen, similarly, a terrific run in his first heat. So good here in the second time around in Heat 2A. He too will get a DNF and no points. So you never quite know, Andrew Tate. Can win the first one, not the second one, but it's all about adding up points and collecting points however you can get them.
Yeah, that's a tough break there for the 91 Goodman Real Estate with Tim Johnson driving. Not sure what happened, but to go from 400 points in the first heat to nothing, the second one is going to make it tough moving forward for him.
Yeah, so what Andrew was just talking about there and looking at the scorecard here are heat winners from Heat 1A and 1B. Both did not finishes their second run. So that's going to quote an old hydroplane announcer from decades and decades ago that's going to turn our point totals into fruit salad here as we start adding them up. But we'll have those up on the screen as we get ready for our next heat of racing. It is our Heat 2B.
Hello?
Oh, I think we've got Eddie Canfouche with us here. Brad Lewis here, Eddie. Great run there in our Heat 2A. You had your left side rear view mirror full of Matt Johnson. Talk a little bit about it for us.
Well, everyone was kind of going slow coming up to the 1 minute pin there. And I don't know, I kind of stuck where I was, didn't get any lean position there, but they all got up there way early trying to defend their lanes coming to the start, and I was blowing by them coming to the start. So by the time I reached the first turn, I only had Matt there. And then from there, the KISW bucket list Miss Rock ran well.
You know, that's exactly our color commentator here. Andrew Tate said exactly the same thing about you and that start, that you stuck to your guns and hit the line with a carload of boat speed and took them through the first corner clean, and that was the key to the heat.
Oh, absolutely. The start's super important, and if you're late to the start, then you're not going to have a lane. But
Thanks,
right.
Eddie. Appreciate
Thank
it. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
On Heat 2B, want to take this opportunity now to thank our sponsors again. Thank the fine folks at Staples. Remember, your one-stop shop for all your home office needs. It is Staples. 3 locations in the state of Washington, one in Linwood, one in Mill Creek, and on the east side, the Newport Highway in Spokane. Staples, your one-stop shop for home office needs. Time to go racing now in our Heat 2B. Will be coming up next. In about 10 seconds, we will have our 6-minute mark. Get a countdown here, and we'll go through the field. 3, 2, 1, mark. So, it is time to go racing here. Heat 2B. Opportunity for 6 more boats to get points and trying to make their way into the final. Running down the field, it'll be coming out in the left-hand corner, lower left-hand corner of your screen. You see Scott Przybylski driving the Delta Reel Track U10. That's going to be the gold and black boat. Craig Montgomery subbing for Peyton Hopp, doing a fine job behind the wheel of that particular hydroplane. U11 J&D's Travis Johnson will do the driving, as will Quentin Miller behind the seat of the Graham Trucking, the U12 bright red boat trimmed in black and silver. Earl Strong presents the Payne West Insurance. That's the white boat with the black checkers on the fairings. That boat is driven by Mickey Washburn, the U21. Rounding out our field, another bright orange hydroplane, the Bucket List Racing 2, Bo Rarig, in the 440. Andrew, we talked coming into the action today and what we were going to see and what we hope to see. We promised some good deck-to-deck racing, and by all accounts so far, the H1E League has not disappointed at all. This has been terrific.
Yeah, we're in unprecedented times, kind of with the way the COVID situation and where the world is at right now. But we're going to do our best to bring you guys some boat racing, and so far I'm pretty impressed with the way these guys have handled the boats and put on a good show.
Well, I think we're all impressed with how they're handling the boat. I think we're all impressed with the system. We're all impressed with the platform. It's only going to get better. They are constantly working on it. Yeah, we've had a few blips and glitches here, but it's to be expected. We wanted to get some boat racing in front of you, and we wanted to take care of that part of your appetite that you were missing. We're hoping it is doing it. We hope you'll tell your friends and you'll come back and join us again and do more of it. But right now, it's Heat 2B. We've still got a lot of racing to go, and we are building toward our final heat, which is coming up later on in the day. But right now, it is Heat 2B. Pat Przybylski, Montgomery, Travis Johnson, Quentin Miller, Mickey Washburn, and Bo Rarig. Here we go. Now we're starting to see the boats do the little S-curves going down the front straightaway, scruffing off not speed, but time. Comes a couple of them down there. This is the 21. Mickey Washburn's going to pull up on the outside there. That looks like that is the 12 of Quentin Miller that's got himself parked in lane 1. But as we've seen, that can certainly change. Andrew, you were talking about some leapfrogging. Maybe we'll see one here. I know what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody to not necessarily leapfrog before the 1 minute mark, looking for a leapfrog in the backstretch afterwards.
Yeah, so far we've seen everyone approaching that 1 minute buoy, and all the lanes have pretty much been established at that point, coming up the back chute and rounding the second turn coming up for the start. I think as the day goes on and we run more of these heats, I think the drivers are going to start to get a little more comfortable, or you're going to see the guys who don't quite have the point totals that they want to get into the final start to become more aggressive. And maybe we'll see some more of that coming up the back chute after the 1 minute period.
Interesting point right there. You mentioned that, we talked earlier, if you've got a signature move that you want to use, you want to save that one for the final. Well, you can use that signature move a little earlier if you're in a position where you've got to get points to make it into the final. We got a boat that is very early coming up there. Look to see if he doesn't hit the gas and maybe move out of there. That is the Spirit of Detroit 2, is the U10 with Craig Montgomery, and there he goes. He has already gone past the exit buoy. He will probably cut the race course and come back around. That's going to put him on the outside of the 3 boats that are sitting down there right now. You got them all lined up. What a photo op there. You've got the 12, the Graham Trucking with Quentin Miller sitting in 1. That's the 21 with Mickey Washburn in 2. And Andrew, I got to believe there's a sentimental favorite to you out there, the U9, the Delta Rail Track. Got Przybylski sitting in lane 3 right now. I got to think that's your favorite.
Yeah, hopefully Scott can stay consistent here and gather the points that he needs in order to put the U9 Delta Rail Track in a good position heading into the final.
That's what it's all about. We're inside 30 seconds right now. There goes Craig Montgomery coming down hard on the front straightaway, driving the 10, Spirit of Detroit. That's him. He's going to come into your screen from the right. There he is. Craig can tuck up in there, I think, and he does. He's going to tuck up into number 4. That's going to put Rarig on the outside. We're approaching 1 minute. We're 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. It's a clean score up, and we've had a move right there. Bo Rarig got wet just as he came out of the lower corner, and he slid out to lane number 5, all the way on the outside. Now, defending his position, Craig Montgomery, he had thoughts maybe of moving over and getting a further lane to the inside, but not going to happen. Everybody's running pretty hard up there, and right now still, Quentin Miller sitting in lane 1. It is going to be Scott Przybylski sitting in lane number 2. Lane number 3 is going to be Mickey Washburn in the 21. And we've got the 11, the J&Ds coming up there with Travis Johnson. He's going to be in the 4 lane. On the outside is going to be Craig Montgomery. Now, these guys are really, really early. And, we've had a collision right there. There's going to be a 1-lap penalty issued on Craig Montgomery for taking the lane away. You saw the collision there, and we are down the front straightaway and racing here in our Heat 2B. So we'll call them the way they are on the water. Look at this. Mickey Washburn driving the 21 is going to get down with good lane position, and he's going to get down to that lower corner first. Bo Rarig is with him on the outside. There comes the field on the inside. Now we'll keep an eye on Quentin Miller. He is on the inside. In an earlier heat, he showed terrific shoot speed. We'll see if he can run down Mickey Washburn, who is flying the 21. The Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Oh, Andrew Tate, he had a good start, and he has opened up water.
Mickey Washburn hit the line absolutely flying, had a clean first turn. Now you can see the boats behind him kind of getting jumbled up because he's able to dictate that race course.
A tough corner up there for Scott Przybylski driving the 9 to Delta Rail Track, but no trouble whatsoever for Mickey Washburn. He is all alone in the camera frame there. There's our 2nd and 3rd place boats. It's the U12, the Graham Trucking, the red and black boat on the inside, and he's being chased by Bucket List Racing, driven by Bo Rarig down to the lower corner here on the 2nd of 3 times around. Having plenty of room on the inside to Quentin Miller is our leader. Mickey Washburn, he's out of the corner clean. Now he tightened it up a little bit at the exit pin right there, but down the backstretch, all by himself on what looks to be some beautiful water conditions. It is our leader, Mickey Washburn. You heard Andrew Tate say he hit the line with a carload of boat speed. It's one thing to hit the line right when the clock strikes 0, but if you don't have any speed, it's not going to do you any good. Oh, and you see the view there of Quentin Miller, what he sees trailing that far behind our leader. You have an opportunity to get wet, and he is getting wet over and over again. He's got to pull that boat tighter to the buoy row and hold that lane. Andrew, that's what you were talking about. That guy on the outside lane, he wants to hold that boat that's behind him on the inside. Hold him in there tight. Give him a lane. Don't give him any more than a lane.
Yeah, the inside way around the lane around the race course is definitely the fastest way. But if you have a boat outside of you and a whole lot of white water in front of you, it's going to make it hard to make up that ground and really push the boat to its limit and be able to get enough boat speed to catch that car on the outside. So excellent start there by the 21. Darrell Strong presents Payne West and Mickey Washburn, and he stays clean and clear here. This is his heat to lose.
I think he's in pretty good shape. He's at the top end of the race course. You saw coming out of the lower corner, Quentin Miller driving the 12 Graham Trucking. He said, all right, I have had enough of driving through Niagara Falls, and he moved to the outside to find some clean water. Meanwhile, here comes our leader and apparent winner of our Heat 2B, the U21. Daryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance. He'll pick up another 400 points on his way to a very, very solid race here in our first race of the season in Guntersville, Alabama. Second place will go to Quentin Miller. Third place will go to Bo Rarig driving the Bucket List 2. That's the 440. Fourth place will go to the Delta Rio track, Scott Przbilski. And our fifth place finisher who got penalized up in the upper corner on lap number 1. That is Craig Montgomery driving the Spirit of Detroit 2. There you see the boats driving along the causeway. It's a pretty good run. There you can see the pit area up there in the upper left corner in the left. Long way across the lake from the race course, or from the pit area to the race course. And this particular venue, there just isn't another spot really to put that pit area. And it's different, but it's really not a problem. It works. And so it's okay. Is a terrific racing venue. Guntersville, Alabama. Beautiful Lake Guntersville. It's a good, fast 2.5-mile race course. Well, Andrew, there's the first heat of racing we've had where we didn't have a finish that was darn near deck to deck, but it was still good racing by all our competitors.
Yeah, and I think you can contribute that to the start of the race there. Mickey Washburn actually absolutely smoked him going to the first turn there with his timing marks. And it's tough to pass in unlimited hydroplane racing as it is in the hydro sim. So I think we kind of saw the characteristics and the similarities there between real life boat racing and the hydro sim.
Oh, and that's really a good point, Andrew. You've done this so many times in the real boat. And now here we are watching the E-League from H1 Unlimited. What are your impressions? How realistic is it, what you actually see out in the big boat on the water?
Having played the game and obviously driven the real boats, the canard wing is something that I touched on earlier. And I think the importance of it in this game is carried over to real life. Like I said, you want to keep your foot to the floor as long as you can, and the right foot on the gas pedal, and try and fly the boat with your left foot. And that may be even a little more crucial here with the hydro sim. And then again at the start, there's times throughout the weekend where you might know that with 1 minute left on the starting clock, you're going to get second or you're going to get third, or that might be what you're racing for just based off your position.
Sometimes
Looks
you
like
just
we got
gotta...
the winner.
I think we do. We got Mickey Washburn going to join us here. Mickey, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
You've got Brad Luce and Andrew Tate here, and we want to together congratulate you on a terrific run in Heat 2B. Andrew made the comment, you just nailed the start, and from my perspective, it was see you later pretty much after that, although Quentin Miller stayed in your left side rear view mirror there for quite a while.
Yeah, nailed the start and then try to keep Quentin tight and keep him in the rough water to slow him down.
Andrew's been talking about the canard wing and how important it is to this type of racing. Talk a little bit about that. Are you really flying the boat? Have you got a little bit more left?
I hung out that heat. You really got to fight to be fast with these guys and not use too much wing and slam it on the water. You'll lose speed too.
And we were just amongst us talking about that, how realistic this really is. It's not just mash the gas and turn left. You've actually got to fly this thing. So congratulations. The boat looked really, really strong. And no pun intended for the Daryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Things are looking up for you. You started out with only 127 points in your first heat, but you come back with 400 here. So you're third place on the points ladder right now. I got to think you're feeling pretty good about things now.
Yep, just want to get that Daryl Strong presents Payne West Insurance in the final heat of the Staples Atomic Screen Printing series.
That's the name of the game. We've been talking about it all day. You can't win it until you're in that final heat. So good luck. Keep it going, Mickey. Go get the boat ready to go, and we will see you in our Section 3 of racing Let's look at the list. Looks like you're going to be in 3B, so you got a little break here. Catch your breath. See you a little bit later down the road.
Thanks.
There we are, and you see on the right side of your screen, you see the points so far earned today. Those points do include qualifying points. You see Eddie Canfouche sitting at the top, and as we just spoke with Mickey Washburn there, he only got 127 points in his first heat of the day, but a solid 400 in that one now catapults him up to number 3 on the list, 557 points. Now, it's important to remember here, the top 6 boats are going to race for our final heat. Will be on the front row in a winner-take-all final, and you start looking at the top 6 boats and then looking at number 7, 8, and 9. And there's not a lot of points separating those boats. So the third section here, 3A and 3B, is going to be really, really important for some of these guys. I got to think in real racing, Andrew, this is when you sit down with your crew chief and your team and go, all right, here's where we are right now. Here's what we've got to do to make it in the final, because that is the number one goal, getting that final and then win it.
Yeah, what's the game plan going into Heat 3? Where do we sit points-wise? Who do we need to beat? Who are we racing against in order to ensure that we're in that final? Do we want to pull our ace in the hole here and show our cards in order to guarantee that we're going to put ourselves in a good position during the 5-minute gun to gather enough points, hit a good start, get to that final? So it's a chess game for sure.
We've only got one more opportunity to earn points. That'll be 3A and 3B. Once again, before we get going in our racing here in Heat 3A, let's take another opportunity to thank our sponsors that we have for today's racing, making all of this possible. Jesse's Stitches in Snohomish, Washington. Custom embroidery and more. Look them up online. You'll find them physically in Snohomish, Washington. Screen printing located in the Tri-Cities in Kennewick, doing artwork for boat racing and many, many other venues and types of events. Need something done special? Don't have an artist? Call Atomic Screen Printing. They've got some of the very best working for them. They're in the Tri-Cities. And Staples, one-stop shop for all your home office needs. 9 people in Linwood off 196th Street Southwest on the Bothell Everett Highway in Mill Creek, just off the Newport Highway in Spokane. It is Staples for all your home office needs. We thank all 3 of our sponsors for helping us today and making this event a reality. I think now we're just about ready to go racing in our Heat 3A.
Hey there everyone, Jimmy Shane here, driver of the U1 Miss Home Street Unlimited Hydroplane. Pretty excited for our e-racing league to start today, and I'm going to go ahead and do the draw for Heats 3A and 3B, and we'll see how this goes. Let's see here. Okay, so this will be 3A. U10 is going to be in 3A. Okay, 3B, U91. A. Got the U11. Three B. My favorite, the U6, 3B. Putting the 2 Miss Madison boats up against each other already. Okay, 3A, U7. Three B, U9. Three A, U98. What are we at? 3B here. We've got the U21 3B. Okay, back to 3A. U99.9. Okay, 3B. The U12. Make sure you guys can see that. U12. Two more to go. 3A. The U3. And finally, leaves for 3B, the 440. All right, guys. I am excited to see how the day turns out. And look out, because I'll be on the radios for Kelsey all day long. We're coming for you guys. See you later. Have a great day racing, guys.
We'll give a thank you and a shout out to our Jimmy Shane for helping us out there with the heat draw there. I like what he drew it out of. I have seen numbers and ping pong balls drawn out of a lot of things in my days. I'm not sure I've ever seen it pulled out of a trophy before, but leave it to Jimmy to come up with something new. Thank you, Mr. Shane, for your help. On the right side of the screen, you should be able to see there the draws for our Heat 3A and 3B. Let's run them down here real quick. In Heat 3A, our next heat that's coming up, Cy Bowen, and that Griggs presents, he's hardware. And Cy started out really, really strong today. He has continued to be solid. He's number 5 on the list right now with 480 points, driving the 3. The U7, Spirit of Detroit, DJ Miller will be in this heat, along with Craig Montgomery, who was penalized, unfortunately, in the last heat, driving the 10, the black and gold Spirit of Detroit 2. U11, J&D's Travis Johnson will be in our Heat 3A, along with the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream U98, driven by Matt Johnson. Look out for our fastest qualifier and top point getter so far, Eddie Canfu, Bucket List Miss Rock, 99.9. 10 seconds away from our 6-minute mark and the start, our Heat 3A. Seconds, 1 mark. 6 minutes. 6 minutes into our Heat 3A. Heat 3A and all of our racing today is brought to you by Staples. One-stop shop for all your home office needs. Look at that site. That is just a great one as 6 unlimited hydroplanes come away from the dock, start the long trek across Lake Guntersville, get to the other side where the race course is, and our racing in Heat 3A. Great sight as they all come away. They all come out together. Looks like a pretty good start going right there. There's 4 boats running across. Andrew, I got to ask you if you can hear me. Andrew, if you can hear me, you've made that run before. Is it difficult at all? Because I stand over there, and it looks like it's a long way over to that race course. Do you just run across until you run into a race course somewhere?
Yeah, throughout the weekend, you can gain references and landmarks on the opposite shore. So as I leave the dock, I'm actually aiming for what might be the judge's stand or a certain vendor tent. And these are things you can use not only during milling, but during a race too, to dictate your lanes coming out of corners or entering a corner. So you might not be able to see the buoys when you start the motor and leave the pits, but you're definitely heading in that direction with a purpose.
Is it difficult running down the backstretch there on this particular course because you don't have a shoreline to your right? I would assume maybe it's a little harder to get some reference points. Is that difficult at all?
Yeah, the back chute was a little more difficult, especially if you're in between 2 rooster tails. You might lose some of those references.
Very interesting, but it is, I know all of you guys that raced down there said it was a terrific race course and a great venue.
Yeah, Guntersville was absolutely beautiful. Couldn't have asked for a more hospitable community, and definitely felt like we belonged there, which was a great, great feeling as a boat racer. The community accepted you and treated you as one of their own. So looking forward to getting back there in 2021 for sure.
Well, and that is definitely the plan. They are a terrific venue, great people, and an awesome weekend on Lake Guntersville. Bal, we've got boats on the race course. We've got boats crawling coming down to our first turn. This has been the way it's been done. You're on board right now with U7, DJ Miller, and he is pulling up on Matt Johnson in the Graham Trucking American Dream. Is right now sitting in lane 2. He, DJ Miller, to the outside of the 98, but we've still got quite a bit of time to kill. Lane 3, there's Cy Bowen, the piston powered. The U3, Griggs presents Ace Hardware. Eddie Canfouche says, nope, not going to play that game. Or wait a minute, is he? Let's see what he does. He's down into the lower corner. Looks like he's going to go all the way through. Our points leader right now and top qualifier, Eddie Canfouche. He's not going to play the game just yet. Here comes the U10 with Craig Montgomery. He's going to go by everyone. There's counts for 5 of our 6 boats in the heat. There's the 10 of Montgomery doing a great job this weekend, stepping in for Peyton Hopp, the normal driver. Good to see this particular boat back out on the water. Former T3 Miss Budweiser, U10, driven by Montgomery, and he's going to go hard all the way through the corner. He'll have to come up around behind everybody. Meanwhile, things haven't changed with our trolling boat. We still got the 98 sitting in 1, and you've got the 98 is sitting in 1, the 7 in 2. You've got the 3 in 4, and that's starting to get really confusing. Coming up on 2 minutes, so these guys are in pretty good shape. I mean, they're not too far through that corner. They're going to have to kill a minute between the entrance pin and the exit pin. Again, Canfouche is saying, nope. What does he think every time he goes by there, Andrew? Does he just go by to let those guys know, I'm not here with you? You're going to have to think about me and wonder where I'm coming from?
You almost took the words right out of my mouth, Brad. I was reminiscent of a shark circling its prey there. It keeps going by him. He's got to be thinking, okay, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And those guys putting around on the inside, maybe they're scooting up a little more every time by, wondering when he's going to try and leapfrog him.
Very, very good. The games that get played. So we're 20 seconds away from that 1 minute mark. We'll see. There's our 3. 98, the 7 and the 3. Comes the 10 with Craig Montgomery. Oh, and look at Canfouche coming in lane 4 in between, just inside of Craig Montgomery. For 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. It's a clean score up now. See if anybody wants to make a move here. Oh, we almost had the 98 get out of shape. He's got to straighten it back out again. He being Matt Johnson, and he does. Up the backstretch on the far outside. Now moving over. Here comes the 11. Travis Johnson is moving over. Keep an eye on the orange boat. Canfouche is going to have a lane in there. He's got a lane in there, but boy, I thought that was going to get tight on Eddie at the very far upper right corner of your screen. Meanwhile, Matt Johnson has held on to lane number 1 in the 98, the red, white, and blue American Dream from Graham Trucking. And number 2 is going to go to the 7. That's DJ Miller. It's the piston boat, Cy Bowen in 3. Lane 4 just coming into your screen there. Here comes Eddie Canfouche. This is going to be a good start as these guys are all going to come down together. Now they start to put their foot down. Look at you got 5 of them lined up there. Canfouche gets really close to the 3. We're 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. Looked like a good start from here, and it was clean. The officials talk in our ear. It is Craig Montgomery has jumped the gun. We couldn't see him. He was on the outside. Craig Montgomery jumped the gun, so he is down. He'll have to run an extra lap. But look at the racing coming out of the corner. What a great corner down there for Matt Johnson in the 98. And we almost had a collision between Cy Bowen and the 3 and Eddie Canfouche. But they got it squared away, and they are running 4 wide down the backstretch. This is really good racing, Andrew. And I know when you're racing your big boats, that's the tough you really like. You want to have good competition. That's good stuff right there.
Oh, in a tight spot there. DJ Miller in the Spirit of Detroit got caught.
Holy cow, he went way up in the air. He caught the rooster tail of Cy Bowen and the 3, the piston boat. Once the water gets underneath that boat, it is gone and over. And as a result, we have a 1-minute penalty on Cy Bowen in the 3. So although he is pulling up right alongside Matt Johnson, he is going to be a minute down. So your race right now is between the red, white, and blue boat in lane number 1, and on the outside, Eddie Canfouche in the orange boat. He's in 3rd place on the water, but he's running 2nd place in reality because of the penalty to Cy Bowen in the 3. Andrew Tate, I gotta believe, once you feel that rooster tail get underneath the front of a boat and it starts to go up, that's kind of a sinking feeling at that point.
Fortunately, I don't have too much experience with it, but yeah, it's got to be somewhat of a magic carpet ride there, up and over and not really in control.
Could only imagine. So we've still got very good racing here as the guys come down to finish lap number 2 of 3. And this is a really strong run for Matt Johnson. He has shown the ability and the capability to get into lane 1 and to hold it all the way around the race course and do so with a lot of boat speed. These guys are going to have to be reckoned with before this day is done. Cy Bowen is pulling up right alongside in the piston-powered boat, the U3. But remember, he has received a penalty based on what happened on lap number 1. So it looks like it's really close racing, but in reality, it's just not that close. Our 2nd place boat is Eddie Canfouche, not even in the screen. We are on lap number 3 of 3 right now. Really good racing on the water, and I'll tell you what, Cy Bowen is just flying the U3 right now. He's really got it light on the front end. Andrew, you talked about the canard. He's really dialing a lot of wing into that boat.
That piston boat is flying high, that is for sure. And I think we're seeing a little bit of pride here. He's not letting the race go away, even though he's got the 1-minute penalty. He wants to prove that he belongs up front and can run with the 98, the American Dream, Graham Trucking at Johnson.
Well, he has certainly proven that, and there is the completion of our Heat 3A, and it was a good one. 2nd place is going to go to Eddie Canfouche, driving the bright orange Bucket List Miss Rock, the 99.9. 3rd place is going to go to the 11, the J&Ds. That's Travis Johnson. And we'll get a 4th finish here out of the U10. Craig Montgomery driving the Spirit of Detroit 2. Boy, Matt Johnson was excited to get back across the lake. You saw that he cut the course immediately after crossing the start-finish line. He's anxious to get back over to the other side, but that's really shown me some great driving ability, and that 98 American Dream is pretty darn quick. Again,
secured lane 1.
That's it. And okay, so Craig is still running up the backstretch here. He did not go across in front of the causeway because of the penalty received. It is not a 1-minute penalty. In our E-League racing here, it is a 1-lap penalty. He's got to turn in a 4th lap, pick up his 5th place finish. Again, really, really good racing. And it must be true to form, Andrew, because you keep saying it and we keep seeing it. It's all about having a good start. That's about 60% of this whole thing.
Yeah, you hate to sound like a broken record here, Brad, but that is the utmost importance. Any sort of boat racing, whether it's outboards, inboards, unlimiteds, or hydrosim.
Well, we said it was very realistic, and so we know how true that is. When we get to other forms of boat racing, same is true here. Okay, so Craig Montgomery will get 4th place points regardless of finish position. If you get penalized in E-League racing, if you get not so much as penalized, but if you get wrecked, if you are the victim of somebody else's wrongdoing and your boat goes over, you are automatically awarded 4th place points. So you see that on the screen there for Craig Montgomery and the Spirit of Detroit. So that was, there you see Cy Bowen, who was the perpetrator, and therefore he gets the 127 points. Right. I think we have Matt Johnson here. Matt, can you hear me? This is Brad.
Yep, I hear you.
Hey, Matt, you're here with Brad and Andrew Tate, and we've been talking about that heat that we just saw. That was a dynamite heat, but you went out, fought for, claimed, got lane one, then held it, and the boat just really seemed to respond. It really was running fast.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I gotta first thank Graham Trucking for letting me do this. It's awesome. Staples for sponsoring, Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse Stitches. That's awesome that they're sponsoring. But yeah, I mean, lane one's so important. I mean, these guys are all super fast, so going around them on the outside's really, really tough. So yeah, fighting for lane one, and I was able to get it and just hold on.
We start looking at the points, and you're in pretty good shape right now. I think you're sitting here with 750 points. You're number 2 in the points, but we still have the second half of our 3 to run. Do you start eyeing that final? And Andrew and I have been talking about, have you got a special trick you're going to save up your sleeve for the start procedure? Not that you're going to tell me about it.
I got some ideas. We'll see what happens, see how things play out. But yeah, I'm hoping I can make it into the final and without having to go through the Connie, but we'll see.
We will see. Andrew, you got anything you want to throw at Matt there? You were talking about his great start, and you said we were sounding like broken records, but that's what's playing out here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could ask him about the trolling or the park and start. At what point do you think the leapfrog might show its face and he played a card coming up away from turn one in that exit pin at the 1 minute mark? Do you foresee that becoming a factor here moving into the final?
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, there's a lot of us are pretty good at that park and start, so it's a bit risky to go for that leapfrog, but it's also kind of risky to park and start too, because if you get on the throttle just a second too late, you're not going to have the speed to hold your lane. So the final's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of people fighting for 1 or 2 lanes.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to it, needless to say. So good luck when you get there. If you get there, Matt, we'll be looking for the red, white, and blue Graham Trucking American Dream. Have a good rest of the day, and thanks for taking a moment and joining us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bet. So we're looking at the points there on the right side. These are updated through Heat 3A. As expected, Eddie Canfouche is still sitting at number 1 with 1,000 points, but understand there's still 6 boats that still have another heat to run. He's already done his 3 runs so far. Matt Johnson, with whom we just spoke, has already had his 3 preliminary heat races. So he will sit on the beach with Eddie Canfouche and gauge the competition in our Heat 3B. It's the last chance to gather points, find your way into that final. We're about ready to get our boats out on the race course for our Heat 3B. Heat 3B will be brought to you by Staples. Once again, we'll squeeze this in before the boats come out on the race course. Staples, your one-stop shop for all your home office needs. 3 locations to serve you in the state of Washington here on 196th Street in Linwood, Bothell Everett Highway in Mill Creek, and on the east side of the state, just off the Newport Highway in Spokane. Staples, one-stop shop for all your home office needs. Find yourself working at home and you need a few supplies, look up Staples. Thank them for their support here of H1 Unlimited e-racing. 6 minutes to the start of our Heat 3B. Quickly taking a run at who we've got in this heat. Kelsey Best will come out in the U6, the powder blue and white Miss Home Street. The dominantly white with fluorescent yellow and orange striping on it is the Delta Real Track U9. Scott Przybylski behind the wheel. Miller will handle the driving duties of the U10, the Graham Trucking. This is a predominantly red boat trimmed beautifully in black and silver. Ricky Washburn will pilot the Darrell Strong Presents Payne West Insurance, the U21. That's a predominantly white boat on the right side of your screen right there, and you can see the black and white checkers on the fairings. And we have the black and gold Goodman Real Estate. Great paint job on that boat. Tim Johnson behind the wheel of the U91 Goodman Real Estate. And for those of you of a certain vintage, you start thinking about black boats and gold paint on them. You start thinking about the Budweiser malt liquor way back in the day, or maybe the Mr. Fabricator. Probably just dated myself with a whole bunch of people out there listening, thinking, what is he talking about? The color scheme has been used before, and it is beautiful aboard that U91. And then we have the bright orange, the Tennessee orange of the Bucket List Racing 2, Bo Rarig, driving the 440. Last chance for guys to get some points here. As you talked about Andrew Tate before they came out on the water, you used to always get with your crew chief and go, all right, we've seen what everybody else has got. What do we have to do to get in the final number one? And who do I need to keep in my rear view mirror? So these guys all have a plan on out here for Heat 3B.
Yeah, and you're not always racing for first place points. A lot of times you're just racing to beat someone else. So you might let 2-3 guys inside of you and have that position coming up for the start. As long as you're inside and ahead of, you be ahead of to get the needed or deny someone else the points that they need.
That's a really good point, and I'm glad you brought it up, because we've had that conversation before at boat races that if you've got a tough competitor out there that you really would rather not have to face in the final, and you have an opportunity to eliminate them in a preliminary heat, boy, you take that shot and get that one off the table. So we'll see if any of that happens here. It's Heat 3B, and it is our 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series, and we are in Guntersville. And look at that move right there by Mickey Washburn as he just says, well, let me introduce myself, Kelsey Best. I'm going to put my boat right in front of yours. Now, he looks like he's still leaving a little bit of a lane there. Now the boats are getting spread apart a little bit. We still got quite a bit of time to go, and Mickey says, nah, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. It's too early to be down here. He'll make another loop and come.
Kelsey parked the Home Street boat up there. Mickey might have sucked him up a little bit ahead of where he wanted to be, and taken away that ground idle might have put him too far ahead of where he coming up on.
Interesting. Sometimes it looks like it's so simple, this park and start thing, but there is an awful lot to it. And we're watching the 21 here in Mickey Washburn. There's the 440 Bucket List Racing, Bo Rarig, coming down the front straightaway. He will go down and find Kelsey Best down there at the lower end, already trolling. We'll see what he sees down that front straightaway. Very, very bright paint job we've all come to recognize. Sorry, Andrew, go.
I was going to mention the paint job on the 91. Is that what we are going to be looking forward to in 2021 or potentially 2020?
That is the understanding. Those are going to be the colors. Yeah, there it is right there. A great look at it. And you see the black and gold. We don't have many black and gold hydroplanes running around, and it looks like the next time we get our H1 Unlimited fleet on the water, we may have two of them, the other one being the Spirit of Detroit 2, the boat represented here with Craig Montgomery behind the wheel. But right now it's Heat 3B, and got our boats parked down at turn 1, and now it looks like our boat on the inside is the 12. Quentin Miller has gone down there and said, yeah, I think I'll take it. And Kelsey, if you want to continue to do this, that's fine, but you're going to do it from lane 2. We have seen Quentin Miller already today be very successful grabbing that inside lane, holding it, and being successful. So there's 20 seconds till the 1 minute mark. 20 seconds, the boat on your left there. That is the 12. That's Quentin Miller with 15 seconds. Here comes Kelsey Best. He is in 2, but he's trailing. Now the field starts to come up. We're inside 10 seconds until the 1 minute mark, and we are 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1 mark, and oh, they said it was a clean score up. That one looked really close from here. It was indeed a clean score up. Now we got some leapfrogging going on here, looking at the 91. Oh, and definitely Scott Przybylski in the 9 came across. He got into lane 4. He came from 5 into 4 and couldn't get across any further than that. And it looks like Kelsey Best did he get lane 1? He did. He did. Now that was close.
We'll see.
Was very close. But that is Kelsey Best grabbing the inside lane, and he took it away from Quentin Miller in the Graham Trucking. So Quentin's going to have to run in lane 2 this time. Remember, what whatever lane you're in at the entrance pin to the upper corner, turn 2. That's the one you've got to bring to the start finish line. So it's Best in 1. It is Miller in 2. And on the far, in lane number 3, we've got a big time start coming up here from the 91. That is Goodman Real Estate and Tim Johnson flying down the front straightaway. Tim Johnson's start has appeared to be too good. He has jumped the clock. So your leader appears to be, but he is not. So right now on the inside of him, it's Kelsey Best. It's one thing to have a lot of boat speed and be aggressive at the start, Andrew, but you can't jump the gun because it's all over when that happens.
Yeah, and to his outside in lane 4, there was Scott Przybylski, who was looking to be in good shape, but coming up for the start, he was a little bit early, had to crack the throttle, and up comes Kelsey Best in U1 Miss Home Street in a very, very good spot now.
How hard is that, Andrew, when you're running up to the start finish line and you're trailing somebody and you keep looking at your watch going, he's got to be early, I've got to be right. How hard is it to stay true to your own timing marks?
It's definitely a testament of your will. You just have to know that you're right and believe in yourself. And I think, I don't know the right word for it, but no doubt, because if you doubt yourself for 1 second, you end up losing 2.
And you don't want that to happen. Whoa, when am I going to have a boat over? They have the boat go over. And that was the 91. Tim Johnson has gone over. He was trying to chase U6 Home Street and Kelsey Best, and now Kelsey Best is way out in front. He's got a full rooster tail lead on the field as he's halfway up the backstretch, a second to 3 times around the race course. So a lap and a half in with a lap and a half to go. There's our second place boat right there, and there's a view you've had many times. Andrew Tate looking out the nose of that 9 Delta Reel Trek. That's what Scott Przybylski has seen, and he goes, now I know what Andrew looks at when he's out there on the race course. Unfortunately, he's got a powder blue and white hydroplane with a big rooster tail in front of him, and he's a rooster tail behind in second place. Come down to put 2 in the books and start lap number 3. This will be our last lap of the preliminary heats before we go to a provisional heat and then a final. Kelsey Best wanted to come out here and have a good run here in the 3rd section of heats, and he's sending a message to the rest of the field. I'm here, this boat's quick, and I can hold lane 1. Off the corner, Scott still trying to stay in the right side rear view mirror of Kelsey, and he's doing a fine job with a half a lap to go. It doesn't look like anybody is going to run down. Powder blue and white boat out of Madison, Indiana. Boat is based in Seattle, but the home port is Madison, Indiana. Brand new boat on the circuit a couple of years ago. See, Best is going to bring it off the top end of the course. There's the exit pin right there. Scott Przybylski doing a good job running him hard on the outside, but he's going to run out of real estate and trying to catch up with Kelsey Best. Great look there at the front. The U6 Miss Home Street crosses the start-finish line. That was the white buoy that just raced by on the left. Second place, go to Scott Przybylski. A good run. We just didn't have the match there for our leader, the Home Street. There's our 3rd place finisher, Mickey Washburn. The Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Will come home in 3rd place. Now you right along there for a moment with Kelsey Best. He will be anxious to get back to the pit area. So our finish order is Kelsey Best, Scott Przybylski, Mickey Washburn, and Quentin Miller in 4th place, driving the all-red U12 Graham Trucking. Now it is all about points. And they are going to add up all the points and find out where our top 5 and our top 6 boats are. Remember, we got points for qualifying, and those are handed out. You get 100 points if you're the top qualifier, 80 if you're second, and 70 on down to other numbers. Those points add into your totals for the weekend, and they count toward getting into the final. They also count toward national high points. So there, I'm going to turn it over to you, Andrew Tate. You have watched, along with me, 6 heats of preliminary heat racing here on Lake Guntersville. Overall impression of the whole day, the competition, and what we've seen so far.
Well, my first reaction is, man, I want to play. This looks like a lot of fun, and I think it's a great opportunity for race fans to experience some of the similarities of what we might get on a weekend, and also build and grow relationships outside of the race course. So I think Kelsey Best, our last heat winner, is here for an interview. Why don't you take it away, Brad?
Thank you very much. Kelsey, have we got you? Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
First of all, Kelsey, how are you? I haven't seen you for quite some time. You doing okay?
Doing fantastic.
Oh, that's good. Well, you're certainly handling your race boat well. The day didn't start out the best for you when you got a DNF in your first heat 1A, but boy, since then you got a third and you got a first. Your points look pretty solid here on making your way into the final. The boat just seemed to run really, really well in that last heat. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, the boat ran well. You know, the day didn't start out like I wanted it to. You know, I kind of have an amateur radio man out there, and it's taken a couple races for us to get in the swing of things. But I think we're there now. Want to thank Home Street Bank, Citizens Madison, Indiana, for sponsoring this, as well as Staples, Atomic Screen Printing, Jesse Stitches. Also want to thank Jimmy, obviously, for radioing, Scott for making this game, and my wife, son. There's a lot of people, but glad to finally be up here.
I just asked Andrew Tate, who is on here with us, I just asked him his impressions of our 6 preliminary heats, and his first comment was, he says, I want to go out there and drive one of these things. So I'm assuming you would welcome him with open arms if he wants to bring a boat and come race.
Of course. Yeah, and if there's any drivers that pro or amateur that are interested and want to get involved with the game, please don't hesitate to reach out. Focus kind of on the hardware side, and been helping some people with trying to sort out hardware. So hope people are enjoying it.
I know we are enjoying it. I know I am enjoying it. I'll speak for myself. I am thoroughly enjoying this. This has been an awful lot of fun. The racing has been great, but we're not done yet. We still got a final heat to run. Good luck to you, young man, the rest of the way. I know you're doing those fans in Madison, Indiana proud. I'm sure they're happy to see that Home Street Blue Boat out in first place.
Yeah, I hope to be back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Kelsey Best. We're getting ready for a provisional heat, which we will explain when we get there, but it gives us another opportunity here to just take a moment, and certainly Kelsey Best did a good job of it, but we will back him up with comments again about our sponsors. And I want to say a word about our sponsors. And I say this pretty much at any venue that I go to and work on the announcing side of things. You don't always have to purchase or go in and visit or buy something from our sponsors. It's best if you can patronize them and what they do. But if you can't, you can still, if you see them, if you happen to be near one of their facilities, stick your head in the door and say thank you. Let them know that you're aware of their participation in our sport, because quite candidly, without them, it might not occur the way it is here today. We want to have a special shout out, and we've talked about Staples many, many times today. We're going to keep talking about Staples because they have stepped up in a big way to help us out. And they are your one-stop shop for all your home office needs. And it's more than just a tagline. It really is true. And with so many of us working out of our home offices now, find you need something, look up the Staples office nearest you and go pay them a visit and thank them for their help here in bringing on today's racing. Same is true of Atomic Screen Printing. If you're in the Tri-Cities and you happen to see them, stick your head in the door, talk to the Walden family there. Tell them thank you for being a part of our H1 E-League Racing Series. And finally, Jesse Stitches up in Snohomish, Washington. If you need some custom embroidery, why would you as a boat race fan go anywhere else? A hold of Jesse's up there in Snohomish. They do custom work, and I can tell you, I've seen it. I have worn some of it. It is beautiful. Jesse Stitches in Snohomish, custom embroidery and more. Thank you to our sponsors. We are getting ready for our provisional heat, which will the right side of your screen. You are going to see the participants in our provisional heat, which will precede the final. The U3 will be in our provisional. U3, he will be joined by Kelsey Best. We just saw and talked to Kelsey. He didn't make it quite into the final. He's going to have to come through. There's Kelsey Best sitting at number 7. Wanted to be in those top 6. Montgomery is going to join the field in the U10. That is the Spirit of Detroit 2. 11, Travis Johnson in the J&Ds will join the field. And the way they started out, you wouldn't think the 91 would be coming through the provisional heat, but they are going to. So the U91 Goodman Real Estate, Tim Johnson. And they are going to be joined by the 440. So your provisional final is going to be the U3. Griggs presents Ace Hardware. That's Cy Bowen. U6, Kelsey Best in the home street. They got to turn that boat right around to get it back out on the water. The 10, Greg Montgomery. He is a terrific driver. He's had a rough day so far. This would be a good time to pull it all together and get a heat win. He's driving the Spirit of Detroit 2, the black and gold boat. Running out the field, we've got the 11, the J&Ds with Travis Johnson. That's the Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. 91, the black and gold Goodman Real Estate with Tim Johnson. Rounding out our provisional field, the 440 Bucket List Racing 2, Bo Rerig. And they are racing for a spot in our final heat. Oh, I think we are at a point now pretty much to stand by. We will await the 6-minute mark racing. It is the provisional heat of our inaugural 2020 E-League Racing Series. E-League Racing Series brought to you by H1 Unlimited. Wanted some boat racing? You got some boat racing today, and there is more to come. Simply the first stop. Our 2020 season.
Brad, I have a question for all of our listeners. Are these boats racing for a spot in the final as a trailer or a spot on the front line? Yeah, we'll get back to Brad here in a minute. Sorry about that, folks. We talked a little bit earlier about some of the similarities between driving an unlimited hydroplane in real life and then participating in the hydro sim. From my small experience with the hydro sim, the biggest thing to me that the game lacks, and I don't know that there's any way to improve it, but would be the sensation of what's happening to your body as you're driving, the G forces in the turn. But more importantly, we talked about the canard wing going down the straightaways, how you set the boat up, feedback on the steering wheel that's connected to the rudder, and then also on your butt and how much of the boat is actually in the water. At times you can feel that and even hear that. As the boat starts to get light in real life and maybe fly away a little bit, everything gets a little bit quieter because the front of the boat isn't necessarily touching the water, which you're at as a driver, and you're not feeling the waves or the bumps on the seat of your pants. That's something that you might not, you don't really get in the hydro sim. So it makes it even harder for these guys going down the straightaway to fly the boats at the limit and get maximum speed and performance out of their crafts.
I am, and thank you, Andrew. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to leave you hanging there, but good job. I think we're about ready to have our countdown here for our provisional heat here on our inaugural race of the H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series. And just to clarify, we have the 6 boats coming out, the 3, the 6, the 10, the 11, 91, and the 440. They are racing for a trailer position in the final heat. We already have our 6 boats on the front row, so these guys are going to run for trailer position, which, as one driver explained one time, it's like being a BB in a washing machine, being back behind 6 boats that are in front of you. It can get mighty rough and get a little bit ugly. As provisional heats go in H1 Unlimited Racing, this is a good one. We've got some fine talent coming out in this. This could be as good as any heat we have seen. Boats are taking to the race course, making that long drive across the lake that Andrew talked about, where he was aiming after the weekend moved on. He learned to aim right toward the start-finish line tower. That's what Kelsey Best will do here in the We call it Home Street Blue, or at least that's what we have referred to it over the years. It's kind of a powder blue and white. It was a brand new boat a couple of years ago, and it came right out of the box and was an absolute rocket. Like he's looking right there. Kelsey Best on the front straightaway, driving a 6, Miss Home Street. Over into the race course, that looks like that is the 3. And it is. That'll be the 3, driven by Cy Bowen. Griggs presents Ace Hardware. There is the Bucket List Racing, the 440, Bo Rarig, the bright orange boat. Tough to miss that one on the water. And you've also got 11 out in this heat somewhere. That's the other. There it is right there. Chartreuse and Carnival Orange. You can't miss those 2 boats. Blind as I am, I can spot those 2. This will be good. We'll still go 3 times around the race course. There is Craig Montgomery. I look for Craig to have a pretty good run here. He's had a tough weekend. I guess, Andrew, as you know, sometimes when everything's going wrong toward the beginning of the weekend, by the end of the weekend, things can turn around. Things can go pretty well, pretty quick.
Yeah, that's boat racing. Winning a race from the trailer position is absolutely tough to do, but crazier things have happened and can happen. What we have here is the final before the final. Everyone wants the sponsors proud and get their craft into the final race and have a shot here at the Southern Cup.
Well, and that's exactly what some of these guys will try and do. You saw it's an opportunity one more time to get your boat out on the water and get in front of the sponsors. And yeah, you're fighting for the right to trail everybody into the first turn. It's another opportunity to get the boat out on the water in front of your fans and your sponsors. Previous shot we had there of the 10 and the 91, you had the 2 black and gold hydroplanes running side by side. That was a pretty good sight. Rarely see that color combination, and it's been quite a few years since we've seen it, but we saw it right there with 2 boats side by side. And look at Kelsey Best. Kelsey Best said that worked out well last time. I'm going to try that again. Got the U6 Miss Home Street in lane number 1, just at the entrance pin to the buoy. He will kill much time as possible. Again, if you've joined us late here, you cannot cross the exit pin of turn number 1. That's the corner those slow-going boats are in. Can't exit that turn before 1 minute. If they do, it is penalty. That is an E-League only rule. We can't monitor, and if you're wondering about that, we can't monitor on these boats the 80-mile-an-hour rule that we have and discuss in H1 Unlimited Racing. So this is a way around that. It has been used before in H1 Unlimited Racing, but that's basically the reason for it. But this is the only type of racing where you will see that 1 minute buoy and the trolling and the score up that we've been talking about all day, where you'll see that employed. There is the 11, Travis Johnson, driving that bright chartreuse and orange hydroplane, the J&Ds. J&Ds, a fabrication company, metal fabrication company out of Auburn, Washington. Up behind him, that is Craig Montgomery driving the U10, Spirit of Detroit 2. Beautiful looking race boat. That original paint scheme on the 88 Degree Men. Kelsey Best down there in the corner, still sitting in lane number 1, and Cy Bowen with 45 seconds until the start, sitting right behind him and in lane 2. And then it is Tim Johnson in the Goodman Real Estate. 1, 2, 3, just going past the entrance pin to turn 1 down the causeway. 30 seconds to the 1 minute mark. 30 seconds. Now we've got some boats coming up behind him, and this would be an opportunity here. You got one of those trick moves. You may want to play it here because this is your last shot to find a way into the final. Best is in 1. Bowen is in 2, and it's Johnson in 3. We are 10 seconds until the 1 minute mark. This looks like a good score up. I think we should be okay. We're 3 seconds, 2, 1. Okay. It is a clean score up. Kelsey Best still sitting in lane number 1. Still got the piston boat sitting in 2. Goodman Real Estate in lane 3. Doesn't look like anybody's going to do anything spectacular here and change lanes. Got the 11 coming up. Looks like they are going to be in lane 4. But Kelsey Best, just spoke to him. He had the good run in the previous heat. Up a couple of points short of being on the front row of the final, went right back out and buried himself into lane 1. And if he can put this thing on the line with a whole bunch of boat speed, could be in a good position to be our trailer in our final heat. So you got the two black and orange boats sitting together, or black and gold boats sitting together in lanes 3 and lane 4. They come off the top end of the race course, and all of a sudden, Kelsey Best seems to be behind everybody as they're coming to the start. It is the Goodman Real Estate that's going to lead them across the start-finish line from lane number 3. Looks like he's in 2, but remember, Kelsey Best is behind him and on the inside. The start was good. The start was good, so they get down to the lower corner now. Look at the piston boat. Cy Bowen's got the piston boat right on the buoy row. He's been able to move over on Kelsey Best. He moved over on Kelsey Best. I think Kelsey may have spun out down in the lower corner. All of a sudden, his boat was sideways down there. Meanwhile, we got some good racing up the backstretch, and it is Cy Bowen driving the piston packer. I know that's got a lot of fans very, very happy. But our new sponsor, the Goodman Real Estate, Tim Johnson, beautiful-looking hydroplane. Love the shot there from the drone up above the race course. This is good-looking racing, and we're going to go again 3 times around the race course. Cy Bowen got about half a rooster tail on Tim Johnson. Down the front straightaway, they've left the field behind. This one right now is Cy Bowen's race to lose. He's got the lead. He's got Goodman in a good spot right on his hip. Can kind of hide the buoys away from Johnson. He can't really see the race course that well. Talk to me about that, Andrew Tate. Does that really occur? Does the guy hide the buoys from you when you get stuck out there on the outside like that?
Yeah, the rooster tail is basically your race course when you're behind a boat this closely. You want to be far enough away to when the boat in front of you turns and throws the rooster tail to the right here, as we see a little bit, that doesn't blind you. So Tim Johnson's doing a good job of staying in clean water and applying as much pressure as possible to the U3 of Cy Bowen.
Went down to 2 out of 3 in the books with one more lap to go. We have been advised that Greg Montgomery, his day of poor luck continues again. The U10 Spirit of Detroit 2 has flipped during the heat. He is out of competition, so the tough weekend continues. Mr. Montgomery, who has taken the place of Hop in the seat of the U10. Meanwhile, it's lap number 3 of 3, and we're exiting the lower corner. About half to 3/4 of a lap to go, and Cy Bowen take a victory here in our provisional heat. The piston boat running strong up the backstretch. Don't dial too much wing into. He's got it really light on the front end. He can look in that right side rear view mirror and see his competition coming up behind him, that being Tim Johnson in the 91. But now it's just a matter of negotiating this upper corner one more time, right on the buoy row. Nice corner, Cy, and he will bring it down. As all forms of motorsports racing go, there's one thing you want, whether it's automobile or boat racing, you want the checkered flag. And Cy Bowen just looked to the right to the official stand, and he got it. He got the checkered flag. Second place will go to Tim Johnson driving the 91, the Goodman Real Estate, that beautifully colored up black and gold hydroplane. Speaking of pretty hydroplanes, there's one, the 11 J&Ds, driven by Travis Johnson. He'll take a 3rd place finish. Rarig will come down in 4th place, driving a bucket list, the 440. That, I believe, will round out our field because I think we lost Kelsey Best, the home street down in turn 1, lap 1. Last time I saw the boat, he was sideways, and he was in a rooster tail down there. He got what you were talking about, Andrew. Lane 1 is the shortest way around, but boy, you don't want to be late getting to a corner. It can get real wet down there.
Yeah, even if you're way behind going into the first turn, there's still water flying and visibility is very, very poor. Chances are you're going to have to back out and find a clean through the corner and off the corner. Essentially, your race may be over, though.
So our boats will make their way back across the lake along the causeway there into the pit area, and we'll have our 6 boats on the front row. And now we know Cy Bowen will be our trailer boat. We'll have 7 boats come out on the water, and we will run a 5-lap final. And you got the points showing up on the screen there. We'll get them all tabulated for you. You'll get the top 6 boats. Then we'll have the 7th, which will be Cy Bowen. He will join the field, and they will come out and go 5 laps. The winner-take-all final. Just an opportunity one more time Talk about those sponsors. They are that important, and we want to talk about Staples. The fact that they are your one-stop shop for all your home and office needs, and when your home has now become your office, and they your one-stop shop for your home office needs. Think Staples. You need items to help you in your office work at home. There's only one piece to the puzzle left. That's our final heat. All right, stand by on the screen. We will have our final standings after our heats 1, 2, and 3. Drivers are getting situated in their boats down in the pit area. It's not just a matter of jumping in a hydroplane. You know all about that, Andrew Tate. You don't just sit in the thing and they close the lid and go. It takes a couple, 2 or 3 guys to get you all strapped in there, and it's quite a process to put you guys into one of these boats.
Yeah, typically we're taking a seat probably 5 minutes before the actual 5-minute gun to start strapping the belts and hooking up the oxygen, the radios, checking that those work. And when those guys strap down those belts, you take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, they crank down to get you tight in there to make sure you aren't going to be moving around and bouncing around. And then you have time to sit there and think about what you're going to do, where you're going to be, and almost more importantly, where everyone else is going to be.
I've always been told, or I've heard a number of drivers say they really like that part when they get in the boat and suddenly it is quiet. They might be there with a crew chief or a crew member, but they're away from family. They're away from friends. You don't have to worry about some guy running around with a microphone, stick it in your face, asking for an interview. Suddenly you're away from all that and you can do what you were just talking about. Concentrate on the task at hand and what your plans are for that final heat.
Yeah, everything sort of disappears. It's you and the boat at that point, and the guy in your ear talking to you, running through your timing marks, where you want to be and when. It's definitely an anxious feeling. I don't so much enjoy the build-up once I'm strapped in and sitting there and having to think about it all, because I should know what I'm doing by the time I go. And once you start the motor is when those butterflies start to go away. There's definitely an anxious, almost terrible feeling though, sitting there waiting, just waiting and waiting and waiting until it's time to go.
So we're going to pop up on the screen here who our final field is. Should be Eddie Canfouche. He should be on the front row of the final with 1,025 points. He's going to be driving, of course, the bucket list Miss Rock. Joining him is going to be the U12, the Graham Trucking with Quentin Miller. Mickey Washburn had a good day so far, driving the 21. The Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance. He is number 3 on our points ladder with 782 points on the weekend. Matt Johnson will make it into our final heat. Matt driving the 98 Graham Trucking American Dream. I said earlier, this boat had really surprised me, and Matt's doing a great job handling that one, along with DJ Miller driving the U7 Spirit of Detroit. Will be out there. He has garnered 708 points. Like this, Andrew, the U9, the Delta Real Track, Scott Przybylski. He's going to be in the final heat and on the front row. Those are our 6 boats that are going to be in the front row. Cy Bowen, having the Griggs Ace Hardware, will be our trailer. It's going to be Canfouche, Miller, Washburn, Johnson, and that's Matt Johnson, DJ Miller, Scott Przybylski. Those are the 6th on the front row. They're going to run the final heat here in Guntersville. Drivers are in the process now of getting set up. I'm told they are strapped in, if you will, and not quite the same way that Andrew gets strapped in, but they still have to make sure all drivers are ready to go here and online and checked and ready to go. As soon as we get a countdown, we will pass it along. We'll get to the 6-minute mark. And remember, we go 5 times around. It's a winner-take-all final. Doesn't make any difference that Eddie Canfouche has more points than anybody else. Still got to go out and win this heat. Thank you, Jesse Stitches, Atomic Screen Printing and Staples. Thanks for making this possible. This has been a great day of racing. The final, the dessert menu, it's all ready now. This is what we raced for. This is what we qualified for. This is what these drivers and boats earned all these points for all day long. It was for this one shot. Get on the front row of the final. 6 of them have made it. Now they throw the points out the window. Don't go 3 times around. Got to go 5. Winner take all. The first ever H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series here in Guntersville, Alabama, the inaugural event. And I have to think there's a little bit of prestige in being the winner of the first event of this type. Andrew, you know a little bit about something like that. It's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a sense of accomplishing something that hasn't been done before. As we come up here on the 5-minute gun.
All right, so we are 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, mark. 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the start. Our first final heat of 2020, the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane E-League. Are coming away from the dock. Talked about it earlier, Andrew. If you've got that trump card up your sleeve, don't hang on to it. Don't go home with it. Don't go home with the idol in your pocket. If you got a trump move, this would be the heat to play it in. I suspect we might see some of that leapfrogging and some of the gamesmanship that you were talking about a little earlier.
Yeah, it's the last time you're going to run on this course until next year. So if you've got them, pull them out. Now's the time to use them. I'm looking forward to seeing definitely some action after the 1-minute period there.
We make the comment many, many times in real unlimited racing. This could get messy during the, and I know you know all about that, Andrew, but when we say things can get messy, sometimes it does get that way. I don't think this is going to be anything different. I think this is all out. This is claiming the big trophy. This is being the champion of the first ever race of this series. That'd be pretty cool stuff. Some good bragging rights there. DJ Miller, the outside there, you're riding along with him, and Quentin Miller, the U12 Graham Trucking, just ahead of him and off to his left up the backstretch here. What has just been tremendous racing conditions all day. We saw some wind up to about 7 miles an hour at one point during the day, but they immediately, those little breezes dropped back down, and it's been pretty much under 5 miles an hour all day long. So look for some very, very fast speeds and look for some close racing here in our final. There's a guy I really like right there. That's Matt Johnson in that Graham Trucking American Dream. Last 2 times out, that boat has been extremely fast, and he has handled it extremely well. Right now, we got boat spread all over the race course. We'll get down to this lower corner and see if we've got some trollers down there. There's the 21 there, Mickey Washburn in that white boat. Here comes a couple of boats down to the corner. I think that is the 12 Miller and probably the 7 DJ Miller. Up behind him on the outside, that's the 21 Mickey Washburn. The white boat is in lane 3, the third one going down there. Then in lane 4, it's the 98 Matt Johnson. I'm Trucking American Dream. So we've got 4 are already down there in the corner. We got other boats that are saying no. Now look at this move right here. Look at Matt Johnson behind everybody. He's moved inside of a couple of those boats. He is going to cut the race course. I was wondering where he was going to go, because there is no way Quentin Miller was going to let him sneak in there, nor was his brother, DJ, going to let him sneak inside of him there. So Matt decided, nope, discretion's the better part of valor. I'm going to cut the race course. I'll come around again. There is the 12 and the 7. Just crawling down the front straightaway here. Watching our clock, we're inside 4 minutes. There's the 21. 240 until our start, and at 40 until our 1 minute mark. And those guys have pretty much come to a dead stop. It happens sometimes, Andrew. The light just goes completely out, and you got to refire and start the whole thing all over.
Yeah, there's times low speeds there. You'll put the fire out, whether it's water coming over and washing into the motor, or just the fuel control, not getting enough fuel to the turbine. So Hopefully that doesn't happen to these guys. And hopefully we don't get a dog pile here for the 1 minute pin.
Right, so there's the 21, Mickey Washburn. Lead through the corner here. We're coming up on about a minute. 2 minutes, 1 minute until the 1 minute mark. Still got the two brothers sitting there in 1 and 2. That is Mickey Washburn there in 3. And coming up behind him, I believe that is Matt Johnson. Matt's come back around again in the 98. The Graham Trucking American Dream. Now let's see what he does. 40 seconds until the 1 minute gun. 40 seconds. Keep an eye on Matt Johnson. He's the, not in your screen right there. There he is. He's the blue boat there trailing the field. 30 seconds. See if he wants to do something fancy. Remember, we've got 2 other boats out there on the race course. Actually, we've got 3 other boats out on the race course with our trailer. 20 seconds. Now, let's see if Matt can do something interesting here. He's going to go to lane 4. He's pulling up on the field, but not very rapidly. Got the 2 red boats sitting there in lanes 1 and 2. We are 6, and now we're 5, 4, 2. A good score up. My count was off by a bit, so I had to do some creative math there, but our score up was good. On the inside, it is Quentin Miller. And we're getting tight coming up the backstretch, but all of a sudden the lanes opened up. That was Quentin Miller. He is on the inside. DJ Miller in the 7 is running in lane number 2. Then, as they were going down the front straightaway, the 21 Mickey Washburn, he is in lane 3, but there you go. There's your leapfrog. That's what you were looking for, Andrew Tate. That was Matt Johnson, and it has been ruled that was a legal overlap. So a good move there by Matt Johnson in the 98 American Dream. He got himself into lane number 4. We're getting close together there, a couple of the boats. They come off the top end of the race course, and it looks like DJ Miller's pulled out a little bit ahead of the crowd, but maybe he's early. Had to pull Here comes Dan Canfouche on the outside. We haven't talked about it in this entire score up. He is coming with a lot of boat speed on the outside, but right now it is 21 with Mickey Washburn. The start is good. The start has been legal, so it's Mickey Washburn in the 21. The Darrell Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Got to get through this corner clean, and it's tight down there, but they're leaving enough room. And it's the 12 with Quentin Miller on the inside. He is in second place. They're all chasing Mickey Washburn, and oh, has he got his hands full. He's got boats to the left, boats to the right. He's got his rear view mirrors full of boats, Andrew Tate. He's got his hands full.
He's got 2 boats inside of him with the faster way around the race course and another fast boat on the outside there, fastest qualifier, and Eddie Canfouche. You can see the middle boat there got the squeeze that looked like the Spirit of Detroit.
He did get the squeeze there, and I think he got wet. And all of a sudden, our boat number 12, Quentin Miller, that you were talking about, that inside lane, Andrew, he took advantage of it. And he went ahead and took the lead away from Washburn. But look at the straightaway speed. He is able to pull. Mickey Washburn, out of that 21. Darrell Strong presents Payne West. Now, this is where Quentin's got to get that advantage of that inside lane. It's the shortest way around the race course. He is to the exit buoy now, and he will start down the backstretch. Got about a 2.5 boat length lead. Don't count out those 2 boats running in 3 and 4. As Andrew said, we've got our top qualifier, but he is on the far outside. That is going to be a tall order for him to run anybody down. I think if there's going to be some running down of our leaders, it may come from DJ Miller and the Spirit of Detroit. But he's driving out a hallway. He is between those 2 boats, and it's getting real tight in there for him. And he got wet, and he slid out right into Eddie Canfouche. Not sure how that came out. There is some question going on. We are hearing of a possible penalty on Mickey Washburn, your boat in second place. He may have been the perpetrator of that one. We'll get an official word from our officials on that. Right now, we are hearing of a penalty on Washburn, the 21. Through the lower corner, Mickey still says, I'm going to go now. These things sometimes get overturned. We are on the 3rd of 5 times around the course. We are halfway down the backstretch. We're 2.5 in, 2.5 to go. And great boat racing out front. Our U12 Graham Trucking, Quentin Miller is our leader. We do indeed have the penalty on Mickey Washburn. Washburn takes the lead now at the entrance pin to the corner, but he is down. Call has been The call has been clarified. The call was on the 7, the Spirit of Detroit and DJ Miller. Mickey Washburn is clean. This is the race for the lead right here. We are on lap number 4 of 5. This is tremendous racing. Outside, Mickey's got the lead by about a boat length and a half. Boy, is he going to be able to finish the deal, Andrew? Can he do it?
I don't know. I'm walking around my living room right now. My heart is pumping watching these guys battle here. This is exciting stuff. I'm reminiscent of J. Michael Kelly there in the 12. Got the inside and a great start for the Graham Trucking.
It is awesome racing here. We got a lap and a half to go here up the backstretch. Now this upper corner is going to be all important. Washburn on the outside. Got to leave enough room on the inside for Quentin Miller. They're really tight to each other. I thought they were going to swap a little paint, but I don't think they did. The exit pin and down the straightaway. It does not get any better than this. H1 Unlimited E-League Racing. Those boats are tied together. If you can pick a leader here at the end of lap number 4, you're better than me. Even as they go across the start-finish line. Wow, this is good stuff. Mickey Washburn driving at 21 on the outside. Quentin on the inside. Quentin Miller. Now he's got about a half a boat length lead. That doesn't sound like much, but that's about as big a lead as he's had all entire 5 laps. Now he's got about 2 boat lengths. Washburn, if you've got some straightaway speed, you better fly that thing and get him. Otherwise, Quentin Miller is going to take this thing to the checkered flag. This is when he's got to hang it all out, Andrew. I'm not sure he can get there.
Yeah, the 12 Graham Trucking has the inside lane. Quentin Miller's done a great job holding off the hard charging. Mickey Washburn, both drivers run a great race up to this point, but a little bobble, a little rough water, a little too flighty. It's anyone's race.
At anyone's race as they come down, look for the checkered flag. It is going to go to Quentin Miller driving the 12, the Graham Trucking. Quentin Miller with a victory here. On our first race of the year from Guntersville, Alabama, he has got to be just pumping his fist inside the cockpit there. I love it, Andrew, when we get the video of you guys inside the cockpit and you've won a heat. You guys are pumping fists. You're smacking your fist on the driver's wheel there. It's got to be a great feeling inside there.
I hope he's excited. That was a great show.
That was
Very
a
well done.
fabulous show.
Congratulations to Quentin Miller and Graham Trucking. Well,
Quentin appeared. Here is our the penalty was indeed on DJ Miller, so our first place finisher is Quentin Miller driving the 12 Graham Trucking. It is official. Second place goes to the U21. Earl Strong presents Payne West Insurance. Mickey Washburn, heard Andrew Tate just say he gave it a whale of a drive. And when you're that close, one small, quick little bobble, it can all be over. And unfortunately, it was. And they just hung side by side. It was going to come down to either a mistake or a little bobble. And something occurred down there. And it was at the lower corner on lap number 5. All of a sudden, Graham Trucking, Quentin Miller got about a half a boat length lead. And that was about all it took. He drew it away up the backstretch. Came out of the corner with a lot of momentum and a lot of speed, and that decided the 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series first race of the year here from Guntersville. Don't know if we're going to have an opportunity to get Quentin Miller on here, but let's hope we do, and we'll find out, Andrew, firsthand how excited that young man might be.
I'm looking forward to doing this in the future. A great distraction from where we're at today, and any kind of boat racing is welcome.
It really is. This is terrific. So taking his time going back is Quentin Miller, and you can't fault a young man wanting to do that.
No, get all the airtime. You deserve it.
He will bring his boat back to a very happy crew at the dock. Miller, Pacific Northwest resident. He lives in Mercer Island, Washington. He's 25 years old. He's not his first rodeo. He's been driving quite a bit here over the last 3 or 4 years, but the young man has probably not had a victory quite as big as this one. He certainly earned it. Will come all the way.
Yep, I'm here.
And here he is. We've got him, Quentin Miller. You got Brad Luce and Andrew Tate here. And I know we were talking a little bit metaphorically, but we said when you crossed the finish line, you must have been pumping your fist in the cockpit there. You had to be pretty happy.
There was some shouting for sure when I was coming across the line there. My spotter had to remind me to watch the water coming off the final corner there. Kelsey Best talked me through that entire final heat, so got to give him a shout out there.
Talk to me a little bit about the competition that you faced all day long. It didn't make any difference what heat you were in. You never knew where the strongest competition was going to come from.
Yeah, everybody in this thing's been playing for a while and racing for a while. We all kind of know each other and kind of know what each other are going to do sometimes, but I just try to focus on my timing marks and know that it's going to sort itself out and try to just get that inside lane and then go race after that.
Talk to me a little bit about Mickey Washburn, because no matter what you seemed to do in that final heat, it wasn't going away.
Yeah, I kept looking and he was
you.
there the entire time. I'd look back and he was still there. I think he was in lane 3 for a while. Then he got overlap on my brother there, and then got to 2. And I was just trying to keep it on the water. And I think on lap about 3 or 4, I ran into some rough water and had to really get on the wing. And I looked over, and then all of a sudden he was ahead of me. So then I had to start flying it a little harder.
I was going to say there that he was a guy who wouldn't go away. I think if we talked to Mickey Washburn, he might say for a few laps there, you wouldn't go away. Because he was out front there. That was just exciting racing. It was just awesome. And Andrew, I'll let you jump in here if anything you want to say. But Andrew made a comment during the heat that he was standing up, walking around his living room. He had butterflies, and he was all excited.
It's true. It's true. My question
Good
to you,
racing
Quentin,
all the way around. What do you think about this? Is this something we can perpetuate, Quentin? You think we can keep this going and have a whole circuit?
Yeah, I hope so. I'll for sure be there if we keep racing. But I want to also thank Rob Graham for putting me in the boat and everything he does for hydroplane racing, and Staples and Atomic Screen Printing for making everything possible, because this is really awesome.
I've got a little thumbnail here on some of your stats and exactly who you are. Is this the biggest win you've had to date?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of shocked I was able to pull that one off with this field.
Well, it's the 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series, and this is the inaugural event. And nobody can ever take it away from you now. The first time we did this, you won the darn thing.
I know, that's pretty dang cool. I'm super excited about it. And again, just thank all the sponsors and Rob Graham and Staples and everybody that put this thing together, because I hope this keeps going and we can do this every week.
I think we should. Andrew, you want to add anything to this?
Well, I had a question for Quentin. We saw him and his brother DJ in the U7 Spirit of Detroit kind of spend the entire milling period together next to each other, and then obviously the first couple laps of the race. Not only are races won on the water, but off the water. I was kind of wondering if there was any discussions amongst the family as to what was going to transpire during that 6-minute time period.
No, we actually haven't really even talked to each other at all today. He knows, I mean, most of these guys know my strategies to get up there early and get the thing in lane 1, and he for sure knows that. And I think that maybe he was thinking that he could drive around me there, because sometimes he's got a little more speed than I can, or that I do. But I think I showed him a good time there.
Well done.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely well done. Congratulations. They can never take it away from you. The first time we ever did this, you got the victory. Well, that's pretty much a wrap here on the inaugural race of the 2020 H1 Unlimited E-League Racing Series. I'd like to one more time say thank you to our sponsors who made all of this possible, along with all of the people behind the scenes who have worked so very hard to bring this to you, to hydroplane racing fans across the country and around the world that have been starving for some boat racing of any type. A lot of people that did an awful lot of work. So want to make sure that if I start thanking people, I'm going to forget people, but there's 2 people right at the very, very top of the list that need to be thanked. And that is Tate and Jared Myers. You guys have done. This is amazing. Thank you to the 2 of you. I know you put in long hours long, long hours and late into the night and starting early in the morning. And Jared Myers, we all watch their videos all the time at home when we're starving for racing. These are the guys behind it. These are the guys that are behind this. Thank you guys very, very much. I'd like to talk about the sponsors. And then I want to get a final word from Andrew. So let's have one more time run through Jesse's Stitches, Custom Embroidery, and more in Snohomish, Washington. Atomic Screen Printing in the Tri-Cities. We know who they are. Thank you very much for your participation in our sport. Staples, one-stop shop for all your home office needs. They are the ones who stepped up big time along with our other sponsors to make all of this possible. Make sure you thank them should you see them and think of them when you have office needs. Andrew, have you got any closing comments?
I'd like to echo your thoughts on the Meyer brothers and the entire H1 media team. I think they've done a fabulous job promoting the sport and coming up with new and exciting ways, and different videos, different camera angles, different ways to look at boat races. It's been a long journey, and two great ambassadors for the sport. Thanks to Scott Przybylski for creating such a game and giving fans and drivers and owners and sponsors, all of us together, a way to come together and appreciate boat racing away from the race course.
Very good and well said. I'd also like to thank you, Andrew Tate. Thank you for coming on and being my partner here. It was a lot of fun. We'll do it again. But right now, it's congratulations to Quentin Miller, the Graham Trucking, the U12. They are the winners from Guntersville, Alabama, the inaugural race of the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane E-League Series. Say it again. Yes, and I was just having it talked into my ear. I went ahead and said that. Make sure you pay attention to h1unlimited.com. That's where you'll be able to find information along on other social media channels. You'll be able to find the date and time of our next event. And when that next event happens, Andrew Tate's going to be there. I'm certainly going to be there. We hope you will be too. Thank you, everybody. We hope you enjoyed it. Good night.